Hi, thank you for joining us for session 5 of the Astral Circus here on happyjacksrpg. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 2024 edition with the very minor change of rolling 2d10 instead of a d20. We've expanded our crit range. It makes sense. Don't worry. We're figuring it out. We're also using spell points instead of spell slots. That's our system. You can find all previous sessions of this game at happyjacks.org/The Astral Circus, and happyjacks.org/shows for anything and everything we've ever done. I am your GM, Jason. Hi. A content warning. This is relatively adult content, not like graphic sex scenes or anything, but certainly graphic, disgusting violence and digging through a whale's brain from the inside, for instance, is a thing that happened last week. So
I mean, it was deceased. It was not.
It was. Yeah.
We weren't torturing a whale.
And in our defense, a lot of the digging was already done for us.
Yes, but we experienced it.
We sure did.
Yes.
We have safety tools in place here so that we can do gross stuff like that. We have our Lines of Veils document, we have X card on the table, and we talk to each other and respect each other. That's
crazy.
What a safety tool. So that's, the safety and happiness of your friends is more important than your plot. I'm just going to put that out there. We're going to get to the players in a second because they will have to include in their introduction a little spice. So I'll just reiterate the scene we're dropping back into. We're on a beach. It's sort of mid-morning at this point, like 10 a.m. That is mid-morning, by the way. Mid-morning. 10 a.m. is not early. It all depends. It all depends. I know. It's kind of a rocky, pebbly kind of beach, not, all beautiful yellow sand and that sort of thing. It's more gray, rocky, pebbly, tide pools and that kind of like Pacific Northwest kind of beach. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense to you. The sides of the beach are flanked by great big cliffs, and there was a little bit of there's a group of like-minded folks who are living together here on the beach. It's not a cult. Okay?
Ish.
It's a group of folks who have shared values and vision and want to live together.
And all wear the same outfit.
Yeah. It's just the one outfit.
And definitely aren't currently performing some kind of ritual to embigify Brad.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Brad, their leader, is currently a large-sized humanoid and is just wailing on the Baron, I believe, was his main focus, which is great because the Baron is also a large-sized creature. So this is good. They're sort of, getting into it. And the four of you are in varying degrees involved in this fight, right? Is anyone down close to the water? I think maybe
I'm in the water.
You're like knee deep in the water.
Yeah.
I'm right at the line.
Yeah. You're out there to shut down criticals and everything else. Yeah. Which was a benefit last time, I believe. Yeah.
It was. I mean, a lot of people grovel and stop a crit or two.
Yep. And where was Jaden approximately?
Safely away from the water.
Yeah, okay.
Cast moonbeam at stuff.
Okay. So we've got let's see. I've got some little colored squares here. I think let's see, who am I gonna remember as hippo guy? I'll just do this orange one is the hippo. Wait, can I make this like kind of see-through? No, it's either solid or not solid. Okay, that's fine. And we'll see about getting our map up and working in a minute here, folks. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and that's fine. We'll have our map available to us. Let's see. Jaden seems like a light blue kind of character to me.
I mean, Sapphire is
Yeah.
his last name, so.
And then dark blue. I know Ezthe is literally sort of blue-purple, right?
Yes.
So we'll do that. Gralen, green or yellow?
Yellow.
Okay.
My armor is sort of like brassy gold, so if it's
Okay. And then I'll have Brad be green here.
definitely not for what he smokes.
What? What? All right, I need to. Okay, so I am going to make the water area transparent. So there'll just be a blue line at the water line, because I'm not an expert at this. And believe it or not, folks, I was trying to do this before we went live, and I'm just not an expert at Roll20 yet. So we're getting there. However, we have
Try this.
an arrangement of folks. Oh, okay. Let's see if our windows will hold up.
And then,
Hey,
There we go.
but
You just need to zoom in to the top portion of the screen.
Yeah.
now I need to. I was like, now I need to find it. Hey.
There we go.
There we go.
okay. I think also I can pull.
Ooh,
Yeah. I
yes,
can
good.
ping to focus, so you can zoom in a little bit more if you want.
Ooh,
But
awesome.
I just, much like when the old ladies at the grocery store were like, I would like to get this person's husband's business's number onto my phone. I just, it was just a matter of playing with it until I resorted back to the old days where I was just like, okay, I'm just going to type the number in the phone.
Yep. Okay, so the four of you are various degrees on the beach, in the water. Hopefully the drawing sort of makes sense there. The water gets quite deep after those first 3 squares, so it'll drop off, and
Good to know.
you'll be swimming at that point. So whatever your swim speed is, even the somewhat tall among you will be swimming in that much water.
Even that third square would probably be swimming for me, though, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
probably.
Yeah.
So the this fight is carrying on. We know so back sort of south of all this, the well, it's really west because the beach faces east, but whatever. It's fine. But down on the map, right? Direction down is a circle of I think a little half circle of like 5 of Brad's community members are sort of kneeling in the gravelly sand and sandy gravel, whatever, and are doing something that embiggened Brad, right?
They formed an arcane cheer squad.
Yes, yeah. But I'm curious, along with your introductions today, what would this scene appear? We know it's gravelly sand, bloody, foamy water, people screaming and running and, whatever. That is sort of the objective, camera zoom out. This is what's happening on the beach, right? But if your character were experiencing a hallucinogenic moment, what might this scene look like? For instance, a disco with a disco ball hanging in the air and everyone's in bell bottoms and,
Disco.
yeah.
Is that a good trip or a bad trip for you? What are you describing?
Well, it's the glitter, glitz, glam, right? Is the I think that would be fun.
Okay, so that's a good trip for you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Alright.
like my nightmare, but okay.
Yeah. What I want to live inside David Bowie's head, looking out of his eyeballs,
Gotcha.
and just experience that. Like David Bowie is my reality filter, right? That's what I want. So not quite disco, but you know that.
Glam rock.
Glam.
Yeah, yeah, glam,
Yeah.
like emphasis on the glam,
Yeah.
right? So, Gralen,
All right.
introduce yourself, Dion, and tell us about Gralen's reality filter.
Hi, I'm Dion. I couldn't be here last week, so I'm excited to be back today. I am playing Graden Longstamp, our forest gnome grave cleric. Little hopeful, cheery guy. It's just a little bit on the naive side. And if this were a good trip hallucination right now, first off the setting, I would imagine more open forest. That would be, something like home. That would feel good to be in and to be exciting. And I'm also like hallucinating what the people around me are doing as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like everybody is in that. Filter, right?
Okay, yeah. So open forest, and instead of us being in the middle of this sort of like heated battle, they're all here to celebrate me. I don't know what I've done just yet in this hallucination, and I don't think I really care. It's just like,
But the grovelers are like cheering you on.
yeah, like everybody's kind of like cheering me on. I'm the center of attention. I've done something great, and I'm being recognized for it, and it feels real good, real, and I am the life of this party.
Because Gralen's fun.
Gralen, it's fun.
So,
Why won't people?
it's so fun.
So much fun.
So much fun.
Okay.
This is sort of well, first of all, hi everybody. I'm Jay. I use he/him pronouns, and I am playing Brutus, Bartholomew Bucks, a Giff monk who also uses he/him pronouns. And this is sort of Brutus's jam. And so, like, getting into fights, that's where he came from. That's how he grew up. That's where he came from. He came from this militaristic background, where orders were orders, and you were one of the team. And so, I think, like, when we get into this situation, as soon as Brutus like identifies targets, the world kind of just like zips into like tunnel vision for him, and extraneous noises, except for the ones that really matter, are like, and then all of a sudden you'll hear like Jaden's voice or Esthe's voice or Gralen's voice, kind of like, "Hey, we need support over here,"
Yeah.
Visually, I think like everything sort of desaturates and like time dilates a little bit and slows down, and it becomes like a like a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
Where like depending on what's happening, when he has to move and when he has to focus on a target, time just kind of like speeds up and slows down.
Oh,
so
neat. Okay.
or like VATS in Fallout, where all of a sudden it'll pause and you'll see like little target things pop up, and like he'll assess, okay,
I love that.
this is where
Yeah.
I should hit this guy. That's the next guy I'm going after, and where I'm going to next. That
Did
kind
you
of
see
thing.
Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes?
I did.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so Gralen's in the forest. Brutus.
Is in bullet time.
Yeah.
Brutus time.
Mhm.
Gift time.
Yeah. Okay, Jaden.
Hi everybody, I'm Sam. I use they them pronouns, and I'm here to play Jaden Sapphire, Astral Elf Druid, who is currently seeing this scene as like the most colorful D&D version of Burning Man you can imagine.
Yeah. Maximum full color.
Maximum, like turn that saturation all the way up. Like when people are fighting, the sand goes flying and it's like multicolored with sparkles.
Sure. Tracers in the air
Yeah.
and all the. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Love it. Hello, I am Pooja. I don't use pronouns. I'm playing Ezthe Perah, they, them, who is a tiefling martial sorcerer. And Ezthe's happy place is definitely... It's a full beach kegger. Like, think... like frat party without all of the toxic masculinity.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the best parts of PCU, where everyone comes together at the end to get drunk because that is what brings people together. But daytime. So over there, they're playing whatever the fantasy version of beach volleyball is. And over there, a bunch of people are doing, oh, look, somebody set up a mud wrestling pit on the beach. I didn't know that was possible, but new things are available every day.
Yep.
And, like, everybody's just having a really good time and love each other and are very happy. And there is definitely, like, besides the people here and our entire Astral Circus family, we've got, like, my parents are there and they're having a good time. And, like, who invited them? And I don't know, but it's awesome that they could come. And that they're actually, like, that they're actually enjoying themselves
Yeah.
in a group of people that are being loud.
Oh, I love that Ezthe comes from a pair of introverts. This is
Amazing.
fantastic.
For a while, I was like, I couldn't even imagine a midday kegger or like a midday party to that degree. And I went, wait a minute, you're just describing Mardi Gras or Carnival.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I've done this before. Yeah, I've been here.
Like, somebody is definitely, like, passing out coconuts.
Yeah.
They're not throwing coconuts because we learned that that's a bad idea.
Jesus Christ. Who's throwing coconuts?
Zulu, back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
They hand them out now.
Yeah,
They
they
walk
have.
up to you and hand them out.
They have to, like, they lean down and they hand them now, but they used to toss them
That's okay.
for decades.
Okay, we're moving on.
At 6 in the morning.
Yep. Okay, so I imagine we did not stop in the middle of the initiative order. So we'll go to the top of the initiative, which takes us to Brute.
I'm adjacent to like one of the Sahagin right now, right? I think there's like one left.
Yeah, the little ones. Yeah, there's one left.
Okay, all right. This is the one I'm up against. Do they look pretty healthy, or are they staggering a little bit?
Let's see. The warriors were coming out to play.
I love that movie.
I think
a good
the
film.
non-groveling ones were the ones that are standing in my moonbeam currently.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, actually, I think it's and
Oh wait,
again,
no.
No, it says
Two of
Jaden's
them got
moonbeam.
obliterated in the moonbeam, so those guys are
Yeah,
dead.
the two
Yeah.
near Gralen are both dead from the moonbeam.
Yes.
yeah.
And
Uh,
then
So Gralen's on the right
Right.
here in the yellow.
Brad is attempting to grapple the Baron.
Mm-hmm. The two other regular warriors are groveling.
Okay.
Is what I wrote down.
Yes. And then I've got Magic Shark Guy throws spectral chomps at me.
Yes.
All right, Magic Shark Guy.
That's right.
Right. Okay, all right.
So
I'm gonna...
you would have to go right to the edge of the where you'd have to start swimming to get to
that's
him.
fine. I'm a hippo. Sorry.
What's that?
I'm a hippo, so
Yeah, that's fine.
No, that's fine. All right. I'm actually really glad to be fighting in the water, and so I'm gonna try to take out the little one right beside me first. Then,
Okay, so you're not moving.
yeah, I'm gonna stay. Actually, can I just skirt around them to get myself in a position that's closer to the spellcasting one?
Yeah. God, I wish there was a way to just like throw out some quickies.
Some quick tokens out there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
where there's a will, there's a way.
can't argue that. Okay, let's see. So I am going to send out. I'm going to send out my short sword first. That's not great. I only got. Hold on.
I also imagine the like Roll20 pros out there are just like pulling out their hair. I'm like, it's so easy, just do this. Like it probably is, right? Like
That's 14 to hit with my short sword.
oh yeah, that hits.
Okay, and I will send out 8 points of
Mhm.
piercing damage.
Okay.
Is it still up?
This is the magic-y guy, the priest.
No. This is the regular guy. I'm gonna try to take out the little one first.
The low guy has
The warrior.
a few hit points left.
Okay,
Yeah.
then in that case, all right. I'm gonna send out my my dagger as part of the nick attack, or as the nick attack for that.
Sure.
Oh, okay, that's better. I'm going to do 19 to hit,
Yeah.
but I'm only going to do 4 more points of damage.
That's all you
Oh,
needed.
thank God.
Yeah. You had 12 hit points.
Okay,
Like, that's
excellent.
8 plus 4. That's how it
Fantastic.
works.
And the last strike with the dagger, I actually like kind of stab it, and I use the momentum to like fling it out of my way. So phew, it kind of rips off my blade, and then I'm going to. How close am I to the magic one?
You're only you just have to move like one square up. I don't know if
Okay,
you
I'm
can
only
see on the
about
screen there.
5-10 feet away. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just got to see if I have a swim speed.
I'm sure you do.
Actually, I don't know if I do.
Okay, well look, I'm going to assume an unarmored gift
Oh, I do have a swim speed.
is equal to your normal movement.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to start like just my bulk just goes into the water. I'm going to charge as quickly as I can and send out 2 unarmed strikes. I'm going to burn a focus point
To get the priest.
to get the yeah because
and
I
the
don't
priest I
like...
believe is untouched so far.
Okay, all right. That sounds about right. So let's see.
I don't remember
Warm
how
will
many
go with
hit
warm,
points he's
and
supposed to
cold
have.
will go with cold. Oh, first of all, so 1 unarmed strike is going to get only 12 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, but that'll do 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
The other unarmed strike, I rolled doubles on my d10s. I rolled 2 8s.
Oh, I
Oh.
think the red.
16 plus 6, that'd be 22 to hit. But that'll only be an additional 4 points of damage.
Okay, well we got him up to 15 damage.
Okay, all right.
Well, let me make sure. I thought I had a reaction for this guy, but I don't think I do actually. Well, you can breathe underwater. Well, look out. Shark telepathy. I think we talked about that last time,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. Very specific.
Very specific. I mean, this is an ocean beach, right? Like there are sharks in the ocean, but I don't think
Sharks
they brought.
patrol these waters.
Yeah, I don't think they brought sharks this time.
Don't let your fingers tingle.
Okay, and I'll stay right by this guy to...
Yeah,
you
because
know.
the Baron has something where when you hit him, he gets to do something back to you.
Yeah.
But the priest does not. Okay. That is Brutus's turn. Oh, and Brutus, by the way, it's short sword and dagger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you short sword, you get the dagger, use that momentum to shove that guy off, and you can see, like Brutus is momentarily, you're consciously aware of like, wait, and like the guy goes up in the air, there's this splash of water sparkling in the sun, and it all slows down for a moment.
Yeah.
And then whoosh, the guy lands in the water, and you're attacking the priest, getting your elbows and knees, because
exactly.
you're in the water and it's hard to like strike and whatever. So it then speeds up again as you get over there.
All right.
But it is enough that like Brutus would have a little moment of like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Okay. Gralen.
I don't have a good mental idea of where they all are.
Yeah.
Are there ones somewhere I can get to without having to swim? Because I can't swim
Oh, also
in heavy armor.
I'm just realizing if I move people up. All right, hold on. I'm gonna move this all down here. And oh no. Okay, so the water's edge is down here at the bottom of the map. And then the top of that is so after the first 3 squares of water is swimming, right? And maybe the third square for you
It's
is
probably still swimming.
we'll treat it like difficult terrain.
Okay, that works.
And then because for everyone else it's like knee or waist deep, and that's fine.
I'm probably up to my
Yeah. It's a
up
little
to my
more
lips.
challenging. I mean, the good thing is you're not really bobbing because you're in heavy
I'm in
armor.
heavy armor,
Like, splish.
But that's also very difficult.
Yeah. And so you're the yellow one here. That is, you've got the 2 guys in front of you were groveling are now cooked by Moonbeam.
Moonbeam, right.
The green one here has, well, let's put the bad guys in real quick. Because I think we took out the warriors. We just have the priest and the Baron.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to put a couple more things. Bad guys are circles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the Baron is here in red, and the priest. No, you don't get pink. Pink's pretty.
Pink's Brad.
I like pink.
I feel like Pink should be Brad.
Oh, pink should be Brad?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it feels like his vibe.
Hmm.
He's
Okay.
pretty. Pink's pretty.
Okay. Then we'll do green circle for the priest, who's out in the water with our hippo man. And then Brad, I will change.
So I can't get to any of them. Okay.
Well, let's talk about it. What make me a deal.
Make you a deal.
Yeah. So
Well-
you're here. You are 2, 4. If you use 4 squares of movement,
Mhm.
right? 20 feet of movement, you can be in melee, but you'll be it'll be difficult terrain for you to get in or out of that situation, right? So
It is worth it. I'm gonna do it.
okay.
Get on my back.
Oh.
There's that. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You have 30 feet of movement or 25?
I'm pretty sure I have 30, but let me check.
Sometimes the shorties only get
Yeah,
25.
I'm checking. I have. Oh, God, I hate it on the phone.
I can find it. Oh, you actually have 30. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try to climb on Brutus's back and do my first bit of damage
Okay.
this fight.
All right. So you have you know what? I'm just gonna have you guys share a square.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
You have mounted Brutus. What? Okay.
And before I do that, while I'm sort of en route, you see Gralen just holding his hand and sort of walking almost blindly as if he's in prayer.
Mm.
And then his hand starts to glow and radiate with like this greenish, blackish flame. And I am going to touch him with vampiric touch.
The priest.
The priest,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you grab onto like the back of Brutus's clothes
With the other hand.
yeah, and like reach past him
Reach
to
past him. Just-
to do a bad touch.
I'm gonna do real bad, grab him in the face too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not great rolls, but I got a big plus. 6, 15.
For priest hits, yeah.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
I get to do damage. Ah. Get in
Priest
there.
gets a turn. He's got a cool
Ooh.
thing I forgot about.
So I deal 14 points of damage to him,
Oh no.
and I heal myself for 7.
Okay. Well, he's still up.
Ish.
Yeah. He's bloodied. Priest is bloodied.
Listen, it's the last hit point that counts.
2 hit points in a dream. No, he has more than 2 hit points, but you know. Okay. Anything else, Gralen?
No.
Okay. So also just to characterize a little bit, you know, wading through chest deep water that's getting deeper and deeper until you can finally grab onto. But for a moment, it's chest high shrubbery, right? And you're pushing through, and you have this sense of like, if you can get through to the clearing, you know about the surprise party that's for you, but you know, and you're gonna pretend to be surprised because you're excited to go, and
Oh, can I keep playing with that?
yeah.
All right, cool. And somewhere in the middle of that, I forget that I'm doing this whole vampiric touch thing, and I'm just like, oh, I know they're gonna yell surprise as soon as I burst out of here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna swing the biggest high five
Yeah.
at whoever's right in front.
Yeah. like a Toyota Thon freeze frame
Yes.
high five. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what it says about me that's my go-to for a giant high five.
I was
Freeze
more
frame
so
high
going
five.
like the end of like an 80s romance movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then you snap back, right? You know what you're doing. You just put like the white hand of Saruman onto this priest's face and burn your tiny hand.
Yeah. A little hand.
Yeah.
Not a little hand, but little hand.
Yeah. And you're aware that there was a moment, right? And that's part of the experience here.
I'm just gonna lean into that. That felt good.
Okay.
Yeah, that felt real
Yeah.
good.
Okay, that brings us to Brad. Brad is grappling, and then now help me out. He can, if he has him grappled, he can do like crushing damage or something, isn't there?
No, you just. I think when you've got somebody grappled, you just have advantage on attacks against them.
Okay, you can't like try to fully have them be restrained or
Ooh, you know what?
they're
That
like
is a really good
some
question.
sort of
actually.
upgrading.
I don't think there necessarily is, but I mean, hey, you're the DM.
Yeah.
You could certainly. I mean,
I think there's something in the grapple rules.
So there's
about...
the problem is this just continues to refer to the grappled condition and does not define the grappled condition.
Okay. I've got it here. Grappling, one grapple per hand. No, okay. And grappled. The condition, speed is 0, disadvantage on attack rolls. The grappler can drag or carry you when it moves, but it costs extra movement.
It amuses me quite a bit that our trips were so very similar and so very distinct at the same time.
What's that?
I feel like that's our characters, though.
Yeah.
They're like the same dude in different fonts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually like just the juxtaposition of like grayed out, black and white, bloody, gory.
yeah,
The most saturated thing you've ever
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Technicolor day
It's
glow.
burning your eyes, and you love it.
Oh, it's the opposite. So, somebody who has the grappled condition has disadvantage on any attack roll against anything other than the grappler.
Yeah. Okay. But the grappler doesn't have any advantage.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Unless Brad has a grapple that restrains.
Yeah,
and
some
if
sort
there's
of
10
monster
yeah.
ability. No. I think
Brad have a monster ability.
what? No. What? He's not a monster. He's just Brad.
Yes, and all those body parts were just human.
What? It's so frothy and hard to tell. The water's purple. That's probably the Sogwin did something.
Right. Okay.
Shows how that works.
Just checking this spell list unrelated to what Brad could do.
Everything's fine.
It's all good.
Okay. The Baron has taken quite a lot of damage, but he's also pretty tough. Let me see. I can't remember if he's bloodied or not. Oh no, that's not the sorry page. There we go. Oh yeah, the Baron's actually quite bloodied. So
Like I did do like 36 points. Of
yeah.
damage. I feel like
He
Ezthe's pride can only take so much.
yeah. Okay. Now, I don't normally like having NPCs do a kill shot, but it is within Brad's power to kill this guy. So I'm gonna play that out, but just know, like, I'm not trying to take the fun away, right? We're all here doing something together. However, Brad has a hold of this Sahagin, and I think he's just gonna use that hold to hold him under the water and drown him. Oh, that's not gonna work. Oh, you know what he's doing? He's dragging him up onto the beach.
Onto the okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. There you go.
So let's see. On the map, we're gonna have. Oh no, not the water part though. Okay, 2, 4, 6. Who's the light blue?
I think that's me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
don't bring that guy over
And
here.
then he like body slams him onto the beach between the two of you.
Okay.
And you can tell Brad is like, "Look what I brought you!" Like, aren't we having fun? Like that sort of. But sorry, that's actually mischaracterizing. I need to. So Brad, but like looks concerned. Like this is not a fun thing that he's doing,
Sure.
right? But as he's like splashing up out of the water and slams this guy onto the ground, I'll roll it.
Suplex the Baron.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll an attack for him in a second here. You can also see like Brad, like he cocks his head a little bit to the side and sniffs the air, and then says, "You should be holding your breath, dude. You on the beach,
Oh.
right?"
Uh-huh.
And then let's make an attack roll. Okay, that's gonna hit. Not a crit, but it almost was. Yeah, we can use that number.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Cool. Yeah, why not? That's 19 damage. Oh god, why is it that number? Okay, well it's so I figured out the trick. I'm not particularly good at math, but I like math. And I thought I didn't like math in school, and so I didn't get very far with it. But I'm like, oh no, how do I do 59 plus 19? I'm like, well, guess what? It's 60 plus 18, and then it's
Right.
78, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
boom. That's those little things. Like that's what I missed in school. Yeah. Anyway, so, 78 for a Sagan Baron is too many. He has 76.
Ah.
So, yes, Brad brings this, like, hauls this guy up onto the beach, and clearly the Baron is like, oh no, like, I don't want to get out of the water, right? This is where I'm supposed to be. And Brad, like, hauls him, like, backs up almost, like, too close to Jaden, right? And then just, boom, like, over the shoulder drop into, like drops the Sahagin on his head, basically, and you just hear this crunch. And Brad is sort of, I'm gonna leave Brad prone for now, as he's like dropped on top of this guy, like making sure he's dying. You know, like, oh, die. Except in his very like not excited enough voice, right? Of like, bro, what is wrong with you?
He's dead. That's what's wrong.
Yeah.
You're harshing the whole vibe.
Yeah. So he's suplexed him onto the ground. He's got his forearm over his throat. The guy's dead, right? the Baron is done. But Brad is a little hyper focused on that situation. Then it's Jaden's turn.
Oh yay!
You have a dead Baron at your feet and a real intense Brad.
Ooh. I'm gonna move away from that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna back away from that situation. I don't want to get that on my shoes.
Yeah. How far?
Let's just go to the side. Like, who's the blue?
That's
Is
me.
that's you? Oh, I don't want to go that way. Other way.
Wow. Wow.
you
Cold.
keep-
No one is attacking me right now. It's fine.
You might explode.
But
You're a
you
bomb.
haven't popped yet today, so
Yeah.
that could happen.
Instinctively,
Got
Jaden's
6
like,
whole
not over
points
there.
until I pop.
Six
So
hit points in
many.
a dream.
and then I'm just gonna move that moonbeam
Okay,
over the priest,
over the priest.
and not
Okay.
my friends.
Yeah. That's easy enough to do. Okay, so do you want to roll your 3d10?
Sure. I love to roll
I do remember.
3d10.
What a weird part of that to remember, that you casted it one level up and it does 3d10 damage. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing I remember from the last battle.
Some things stick.
Brains are weird.
Okay, that is 5 plus 8 is 13. My
13
favorite number.
damage for the priest.
Sweet. And does the priest roll a saving throw? Or
Yeah, for half.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you might say. Black dice are saying 9
Okay.
to save. No,
No,
I'm
it's
assuming
gonna
that
be
does
no.
not meet your save
not
DC.
today.
No.
Okay, so we take the
Mystic
full.
shark guy.
What'd you say? 13 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so 30 plus 12 is 42, and I think that may be too many damages. Yeah.
Oh, I think as he's doing that, like, because Brad told him to hold his breath,
Yeah.
he would be like, "Why would I hold my breath?" Sniff to see if he can smell what Brad is smelling.
Well, you don't pick up any particular scent. However, we do have Jaden, stepping back away from the mess of this, and I think because the Baron is so, like, that image is so unpleasant,
Yeah.
it just sort of pastes over, like, sinks into the pebbly beach,
Mm-hmm.
and then you move your moonbeam over, and there's this just wall of light, as it moves through the water. The water's like bubbling because it's so hot, and there's the priest is, just gives a screech of joy as he receives the spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that guy needed the spotlight.
Right. And then it comes back, right? It was just a moment. Although I think out of everyone here, Jaden has maybe the most experience with hallucinogens.
Oh yeah.
I think you're the main competition.
I think it's fair just because Jaden's had so many more years to have experiences
Yes.
with
Okay.
hallucinogens.
So then, Jaden, I'm going to say, so far you're the only one who's totally conscious of this brief hallucination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Also combined with the fact that Brad told me not to smell the air. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've been here before.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Something in the air.
Have you even in character figured out what Brad is?
No.
Oh, okay.
What, have you? Out of character?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I mean, it's just a guy.
That I have out of character figured it.
He's a guy who doesn't want to be friends, but also bemoans his lack of friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's real.
Introvert
Damn it.
problems.
Thank you for just pointing out the subtext that I had not realized I wrote into the major NPC. God damn it. So then we have. So it would have been the Baron's turn. The Baron doesn't get a turn. The Baron dies. That's his turn.
Even if he did survive it, he would re-roll damage at the beginning of his turn.
Oh no, this is the Baron who got body slammed
Oh,
on the
gotcha.
beach. Yeah.
Hmm.
The priest is in the spotlight.
Yeah. Then it would be Ezthe's turn. We're basically out of combat. However, I don't want to miss the opportunity for Ezthe's vision as well. There is that moment of, like at a party where sort of everybody stops talking at once, and it's just like, oh, that's funny, that happened. Like, this is the beach party where, like, the volleyball dropped, and the like, barbecue is, like, being reheated for the next round of stuff, and, there's just a moment where you're like, cool, oh, God, I'm not at a beach party. Right? That's the experience.
Okay.
All right? Or do you want to embellish that at all?
No, that sounds great. It's like,
Okay.
it's that, like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Right.
we're not doing that,
No.
but we should be.
Sure.
I mean, all of this seems like it's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So I realize that, like, prior, Brad was like, just leave us alone, whatever. But now that we've had this bonding experience,
Uh-huh.
beach party.
Okay. So we're gonna leave combat. And there's just a few things I need to narrate for you as you're sort of catching your breath and coming back up out of the water. And I imagine you're dragging the priest's body out too, just to make sure, like, you're dead, right? You just stay dead.
Check for pulse.
Crispy. Well, I guess he's sort of boiled. What's that called? Sous vide? No, he's not in a bag, so he's not sous vide. But
Also, that's low
Steamed.
temperature long
Poached.
time.
yeah.
Poached, yeah.
Yeah,
Poached.
poached.
Yeah. Poached in boiling water. So you drag him up out of the water just to make sure, like, oh, yuck. Yeah, that's cooked.
Yeah.
And I don't think they smell good. Like, grilled fish smells great, right? Like, or at least I think so. Like,
Yeah.
These guys are
no,
unseasoned,
absolutely.
though.
Yeah. They're unseasoned, and they're just like nasty ocean dwellers,
Yeah.
right? They're not.
Yeah.
And again, I reiterate this last time. These guys are monsters. They're not just like misunderstood people. Okay, they're just horrible anthropomorphic sharks, basically. Okay, and sharks are nicer than these guys. That's the takeaway.
Trying to think of the right, like, level of, like, you know how, like, sea rot smells?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That, like, nasty like seaweed kelp is also been cooked onto the, because he was like draped in all kinds of stuff. So yeah, there's just a nasty burnt smell. There's the smell of salty blood and frothy water and all this stuff as you're coming up onto the beach again. And there is for you two coming up directly out of the water. You two had never gone in the water, right? You're not far away, and you'll be able to see when it's pointed out. But have either of you like seen or understand in detail what an illithid looks like? I mean, you would have heard what happened in Baldur's Gate recently, right? Like last month, I think is what we said. The events of Baldur's Gate took place. So you know what an illithid is, but have you ever seen one personally?
I think Brutus has.
Okay.
Because, you know, again, the contingent's flying around in astral space and realm space. And, like, illithids are a very, very real threat there. I'm going to say that I've encountered at least, like, one nautiloid.
Sure.
And it never ends well.
Yeah.
So I do not like mind flayers, like, at all.
Yeah.
Really, really bad experience.
That's a normal, reasonable reaction to mind
right.
flayers. Yeah.
Gralen's the newest to traveling the astral space and is the newest member of the group, so probably is not.
Yeah, and illithids would never come through the embassy.
Right.
They don't travel that way through death. So,
Right.
And in fact, like the person the illithid was has already died, and so they're like most sort of scholars consider illithids just an animated husk, essentially, that is motivated by something else. Now, in the course of Baldur's Gate, we saw at least one illithid that had retained its sense of self, and that was a big story point. Sorry, spoilers, but you know, I won't say any more than that. That is a strange occurrence, so and maybe is not something that's familiar to all of you. Just so when we get there, how about Ezthe and Jaden? Have either of you encountered an illithid face to face?
I feel like Jaden probably, just because he's been so many places and has been alive much longer than everyone.
Yeah.
I think out of anybody, if he had he would be the one to have come across like the one illithid who's like retained their sense of self and is like the exception to the rule.
Yeah. Okay.
That seems likely for him.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
I don't think so. I think that one of the essay's defining characteristics was just that somehow missed everything that just happened just by being somewhere else at the time. Kind of feeling like exactly wrong place at the right time.
Yeah. Wrong places only.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that. Like, it's just like, what?
We get a montage of Esthe's life where there's an illithid in the other room of like every scene that you're in.
Yes, exactly.
Just like
it's like-
Santa.
Like, all the stuff with, like, all the things that happened at Baldur's Gate, like, occurred, like, right after they went to visit their parents for the last time. And, like, it was just this weird, like, coincidence of things. And it's like, what was going on?
Okay. All right. So for you two coming up out of the water, Gralen, you don't recognize what this is, but Brutus, without a doubt, and they're somewhat dismembered, right? But there's two just straight up illithid bodies in the water that are like all torn apart from the Sahagwin attack, but you know the attack started with some of Brad's followers going out to fish, and they're like, ah, and disappearing into the water. So either this illithid attacked the people and we haven't found the people, or so, like, I don't know what Brutus would want to put together, but like, if you're going through like, what? And you like pick up an illithid body.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to say like I pick up a tentacle and there's like a head attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at this and I go, oh boy. What do we call do we call ourselves anything in particular?
Well, you're the Astral Circus.
We are, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll
Carnies.
No, you know what? I'll just yell out, "Gah!" And I'm like really afraid. I'm really worried about this. Like I was concerned about the Sahagin before,
Yeah.
but I knew that we could probably tackle him. But when I see this, I just yell out, "Ah, get out of the water! There are things in there we don't want to mess with."
And like I'm still probably riding your back, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
watching
yeah.
all this happen. I go, what's the big deal with the squid?
I turn to you. You know what? When I realize that you're there, I grab you and I like just grip you close, and I kind of keep you as far away from this thing as I can. And I whisper into your ear, "These things are horrible, brain-sucking creatures. They're no good. Wherever they are, there's trouble."
Okay. I need to. What's the reaction gonna look like to this? What's the? So Brutus is making a scene. Brad is turning to look at the scene, and I'll get his reaction in a second. What are you two, Ezthe and Jaden?
And I'm holding this out just like where you two can like just
actually
get full
see
on
it.
view of it. Yeah.
And you could see like fully like two bodies and enough like arms and legs that you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
two illithids in there.
I think Jaden's like, well, that's probably not good.
Okay. And as you've probably heard of an illithid.
Yeah, I'm like, huh. Well, I mean, these ones are all cut up. Wonder what it would be like to see one that's alive.
And me
I'm
fully
like the only one who
Squid.
has it.
squid. Like
I
the
mean-
sharks, shark people, squid people.
Yeah, because
They're the same threat level in my mind.
I don't think anyone has said illithid. Like, I think you would know the term illithid or
but
mind
I wouldn't
flayer.
know that is
Right.
an illithid or mind player.
Yeah, you gotta like
Yeah.
put that together.
Right.
Yeah.
Squid.
Yeah.
Squid creature.
Okay. And so Brad turns and this look of horror on his face and reaches to take the head from you.
And he's still enlarged, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I tell him, "This one is dead. Get your people out of here. We'll hunt the rest of them down."
Please give Tevin to me.
Uh-oh.
Well, I just kind of let it the tentacle just kind of
Like
like slips out of my hand and the body kind of falls to the ground.
Yeah. So I thought you just had like a head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or the head. I wasn't sure how attached to a body it was, but the head just kind of.
You found a severed head. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Then boom, the head just plops down onto the gravel.
Oh, okay. So he like drops to his knees to catch it before it hits the ground.
Okay.
Right. And cradles it with great care. Right. Of like, oh, Tevin, I'm so sorry, dude. I really let you down. And he's just like kneeling on the ground as like the people who were maintaining his spell stop doing so, and he returns to medium size.
Okay.
And they come up and they're like, oh no, like it is like there's only half a dozen of the followers on the beach, but everyone is like, no, and like sadness. There's like a few tears, but it's not the like, whoa, like the total sob fest. But the people are distraught.
Okay.
Even in the subtlety, Gralen deeply recognizes the grieving process
Yeah.
and is confused. So Gralen will go ahead and say, Brad, was the squid creature your pet?
Oh, my dude, just give me a minute. But so this is a highly suspect situation that you all may react to in different ways. All right, that's I want to just give you time. Like, this is not a cutscene, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can react to this. This is extremely strange. Where he is cradling this severed head in his arms, and the others on the beach are weeping, for lack of a better word, but it's not a completely hysterical situation.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say that I completely understand. His friend got murdered by the Sahagin, and now everyone is sad about it, and there doesn't seem to be any nuance to that to Ezthe.
Okay.
This is awful. I feel really bad for them. And that's a normal part of life in a terrible sense. But like Like, this is relatable.
Okay.
Um,
I'm more so just trying to offer last rites. Like, no, I don't mean it intrude. I can,
Sure.
if this was something close to you, I can last rites for.
If you're trying to get out of my arms, I'm continuing to pull you back. I'm not letting you.
Oh, well, I'm having this conversation in a
Yeah.
strange, like floating all arms. I just last rites if you want if you cared for the squid creature, I can. I'm a
okay,
great.
let me.
They're
Okay, so I feel like there's two different things going on, and I'm confused.
Okay.
Pooja is confused. That it's a severed head, or is it a severed head attached to it? Like, because both
Yeah.
things have been said.
Okay, so I'll lay the scene out a little bit. All right. Brutus came up with a severed head out of the water, and Brad came over like, "Oh no, give that to me!" Right, and is holding the head. Okay. In the water, however, have surfaced two illithid bodies, one with a head still attached, but at least one arm and leg are sort of disconnected from the group because the Sahagin had got them and like dismembered them in the water, right? So these illithid bodies are now like coming up to shore, and the other people on the shore are coming out to like pull these bodies up, and they're like laying out the parts, kind of where they're supposed to go. Not like they're gonna do anything, but just like, oh, let's put Tevin's leg back there, and that sort of thing. So does that scene? Brad has come up. Like is bringing the head back up on the beach where the rest of the people are pulling these bodies and such out. Brutus and Gralen are still sort of out in the water a little bit.
We're
At,
kind of
at the water line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you were wanting to get out of the water anyway. And then you two were more on the beach. So I think the body arrangements and the people and Brad are between. So Ezthe and Jaden are on the beach.
Yeah.
The bodies being laid out is on the beach. And then that's between the two pairs of our heroes. All right.
And at this point, Brad is smaller, right? They've stopped.
Yes, yeah, he's normal size. Yeah.
I turn to the two of you, and I say, Perah, Sapphire, we need to get out of here. And you hear my like heavy feet just like crunch, crunch, crunching through the gravel as I'm backing away with you.
I mean, it seems normal to let people grieve in peace.
That's
They're
true.
definitely not going to want to party now.
I feel like no, maybe awake later, but I think
Yes.
they're gonna need a minute.
Yeah.
I think for Jaden, like, Illithid are generally bad, but like there was that one guy he met when he was partying with those mushroom people that was pretty cool. So like maybe this guy was like Tevin was like that guy.
And it feels like we had these whole conversations. They just want to be left alone. Anyway.
Okay. So they're sort of like backing away.
I mean, respect the grief, man. Respect the grief.
Okay. And so I imagine we'll get Gralen back on the ground as well.
As soon as
Yeah.
we're far
Safe
enough
distance,
away.
I'm imagining.
Yeah. Okay, so the four of you are sort of moving up the beach, not totally sure, like, should we just get out of here or what?
And, like, as soon as you all get close, I kind of tell you what I think is going on. That these are mind flayers, or that these are folks who are under the control of mind flayers. They're mind flayer thralls.
I mean, none of them seemed like...
Well, like Brad too, though.
No, must be mind flayers. And I shiver visibly whenever I think about it. Like, we've encountered these things before out in wild space, and they've wiped out companies of my friends.
That's not great. I don't think our friends over in Brine are gonna love that.
And well, where there's one of them, that's all it takes. It just takes one mind flayer to gain control of a community. I think maybe that's what we're facing here. There was at least two of them.
So you're having this conversation a little bit up the beach, just probably 30 feet away, something like that,
Mhm.
from the bodies being laid out and the sort of muttering and sadness that's down there. But then you see, because you're kind of looking at this like, do we just back out of here like Homer into the bushes?
Very
Like,
much.
you know, this is a awkward, like a horrible, it's a horrible, awkward situation, right? But then you see a couple of the other people look up at you and down, and then one of them goes to like whisper something to Brad. Okay?
Uh-oh.
And then Brad looks up and he like stands up again because he was on his knees next to, you know, sort of like just bemoaning the loss, right? And he steps over and past them, and all the half dozen people on the beach kind of fall in behind him, right? And he says, dudes, I'm sorry, but you can't leave without talking to me first.
I mean, we wanted you to be like, we didn't want to intrude on, you know, like when you lose a friend like that. I know it can be harsh.
And he like squints, right? And we know, I think we had established this a little bit last time, but like, as goofy as he sounds, we have seen the spark of intelligence in his eyes,
yes.
right? Like, and he is shrewd, even though he seems the opposite of that word.
Yeah.
And sort of squints. And so what I need you to do is roll persuasion, because you're telling the truth, right? Like
Yes.
you mean what you're saying. So I'm
I
going to have you
do.
roll with advantage.
Okay.
And I'm going to have him roll insight. I think dice.
And that's cool, because that's 8 plus 7 is 15 plus 7
Oh.
is
That's
22.
That's terrific. Yeah. So he believes you, okay? And this is a complicated situation because he expected you all to be like, oh, mind flayers, kill everyone, you know? And you can see that in his face, right? He's like, am I gonna have to kill these people? Like that's his internal monologue right now, right? And he doesn't want to, right? Also, I just want to check in a quick thing for everybody's reality filter. We just hit a major bummer point, right? How does your hallucination fit that, right? Like what are you seeing? Or is it like what is your mind doing with that?
You know how, like, a lot of times when you have a communal food situation, like, people aren't thinking about allergens.
Oh yeah.
People aren't like, oh, no, man, you got to keep the shellfish separate.
Yeah.
Because if if it gets into the other food, people with shellfish allergies can be
Yeah.
in trouble. And that is what just happened at this party.
Okay. Somebody got shellfish who shouldn't have, and they're either being tended to or they're expiring and the party's over.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Similar, but in a different font. I think somebody has partied too hard
Yeah.
and partaken of a combination of things they should not have.
Yeah.
And so they have gone down in the midst of the party.
Yeah.
And are being tended to.
Okay.
All right. They've kind of formed a little formation often.
Yeah,
as
like
they're
so
approaching,
it's
right?
now you all were sort of backing away towards the
Yeah,
forest,
yeah.
right? They have stepped past the bodies that are laid out on the beach. Brad and then the 6 people behind him, basically in a line, right?
Sure.
Like they're not all like, "Whoa, get them," but they're ready to be that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I've seen sort of them act in concert with one another
Mm-hmm.
and cast that enlarged spell.
mm-hmm.
So I get into a bit of a fighting stance and I creep my way as much as I can, like in front of my friends. So if anything happens,
Okay.
I also pop up a hood.
Yeah.
Because the extra layer of protection. And then like seeing everything, same thing, like the world desaturates, everything kind of focuses in on the group. And I'm like, they went from being just kind of regular folks to threats. And so, again, that Sherlock Holmes thing, like I'm like observing body
Oh.
language and like assessing threat level, you know,
Can I
how much
pitch
percent.
something?
Yeah, yeah.
So your desaturation happens, and things that aren't threats, like you're aware of them,
Yeah.
but they're not particularly noticeable. But threats in your desaturation are like full color.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
And then these guys go from being desaturated to like full color,
Vibrant,
like,
yeah.
and we get that like zoom in of like you're seeing, you know, a sweat drop coming down Brad's forehead.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But again, I'm not necessarily, I mean, I think they're a threat, but I also know if they're thralls, they can probably be broken out of it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the gauge that I'm working on in my head. That's the math that I'm like trying to figure out.
Okay. Gralen?
Still same forest and same party. Everybody celebrating me. But then this sort of like open grassy plain, it's all of a sudden kind of viney, you know? And next thing you know, I find myself kind of tangled up and kind of stuck in place. And then that laughter and celebratory joy turns into just laughter. And then they're laughing at me.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They're laughing at me.
Yeah.
And I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
I'm stuck there.
Okay. Okay. So Brad takes another couple steps towards the four of you. All right. Leaves the people behind him. He's like, just wait, dudes. And steps closer to you.
I think at this point, like, Ezthe, willfully optimistic, not actually stupid.
There's a difference. Yeah.
And I know Brutus in I'm about to throw down stance, and I'm not going to let you get in front of me.
Okay.
And I'm not going to let you, like, I am going to circumvent in order to talk to Brad.
Is there a world where Ezthe would just grab Brad in a hug?
Every world. This
Okay.
is what this is. It's like, obviously you're coming in here for comfort. I have expressed
Right.
that it's like we all need
Okay.
comfort in a time when you have lost someone close to you.
Okay.
Yes, good.
Now, well, what did you want to say?
I was gonna say, I think Gralen is still in this place of like someone has passed, and I can tell that you're grieving, and I want to help. Like I understand that there's a tension here that I don't fully get.
Yeah.
'Cause I think Gralen still hasn't fully put it together. He's heard you say it, but I still haven't put it together that they are potentially like a threat. I'm like, that's Brad. Brad, we just fought with Brad. Brad, what do you mean? It's like I want to help, and so in this world, like I'm gonna see if it's possible that I can get to the body that's still together, the squid body that's still together.
So they're down by the water line, and you've got Brad and 6 other people between
No,
you
not
and-
just barge. I would say,
Oh.
like
handshake.
I want to get gentle repose the body
Oh.
because I don't have enough spell points, even if I wanted to try to bring it back right now. But I could preserve it to maybe let me or somebody else do something about that later.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get to like let me help. Like I see this grieving. That's my whole thing. I want to help.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna let me, but that's like
Okay. We'll get to that.
okay.
You go in for the hug.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And I forget, how big is Ezthe?
Medium. Normal size.
but height.
Height-wise, like 6'4".
Oh, okay. Yeah, Brad is also, like, his normal size is like 6'4", muscly. So he's just more muscly than you. But you're about the same height, right? Okay.
That's what makes us perfect besties.
I feel like as the resident 4-footer here,
Yeah.
I'm not really liking this word normal being thrown around.
I'm sorry, medium. I enjoy the like Schwarzenegger DeVito twins
Sure.
situation
Yeah.
that we have.
All right. So you go in for the hug, and Brad, like, you were hugging Brad, right? And Brad is, like, agog. And
It's okay to let yourself feel things. I know. You have to be strong for others, but you can feel things too.
so we see the whole reaction of, like, he thinks you're attacking him, you know? and doesn't react in time, right? So you're not being injured, but he stiffens, right? And then hugs you back, right? And says, so look, this is more complicated than it seems. And like, you, Brutus, wait, does he know all your names? You introduced yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And is hugging Ezthe and over Ezthe's shoulder, nods at Brutus, like, your bro's not wrong, okay? Like, most illithids are nothing to screw around with. But, I think, I mean, we'll probably have to explain. If, and then he looks directly at Brutus over Ezthe's shoulder, understanding, like, he's not incensed that he has to ask this, but like, if you'll give me a chance.
I seeing you, as they holding this person. At first, I think, okay, strategic move, you're gonna pop, and I think, okay, you know what you're doing, so my body softens a little bit, not full on, like I'm still ready to
Sure.
jump into action if I need to. But I think Brutus turns to Brad and says, "What do you want from this place?"
That's fair. We just want this space to live away from everybody else.
Oof. You're not here to take over the other communities of the island. You've got a lot of friends on the other side, and some folks that we haven't met yet.
No, we got away from Baldur's Gate so that we wouldn't be a threat to anyone, and no one would be a threat to us.
I turn to all of you. Well, obviously you can't see me, but I turn to you, Gralen, and to you, Jaden, and I just kind of like give you a like, what do you want to do? Look.
I think Jaden looks at Brad and is like, Brad, if it's okay with you, would you tell us a little bit about your friend Tevin so we understand the situation?
I'm not going to start with Tevin or Anna. And he gestures at the other.
Yeah.
Because we need to take care of them first. But if you four would just like chill here for a minute, let us do our thing. And he like extracts from the hug, and at this point, let me ask, man. He's talking to Gralen. What is it you want to do?
Well, is Tevin the one that is dismembered?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything within my power that I can do for Tevin, but I can at least preserve Anna, and maybe tomorrow I can try to bring her back, if at all possible. I don't know that I can, but I can try.
With the power of the gods, right?
Yes.
I'll save you. And like, he actually tears up a little bit, right? He's like, my dude, no one's ever shown us that kind of kindness. But it's also because the gods won't honor us with that. And you don't have to do that because it won't work. And he's like he's choked up. He's like not crying, but emotional, right? but I really, really appreciate the offer. We're gonna build a pyre and cremate the bodies. And look, it's just gonna seem strange, but I really, if you all could just chill for a minute, I gotta talk to you before you leave.
I look at everybody. If you all look comfortable, and like from what you said, Gralen, I'm at a loss because I've never seen this before. But I do trust you.
Yeah, and I'm operating primarily off vibes.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Like, this is a sad scene.
yeah.
This is the moment of the grave. This is what I'm trained for.
Yeah. Like after hearing what you have to say,
Mhm.
like, again, I trust you. So if this is something you want to do, like, I'll support you. But I need a minute. So I just, from where I'm standing on the ground, I just kind of prop down, sit like crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
And I just put my hands like across my chest, and I just sit and watch.
Mm-hmm. And now your fight, all of this happened in minutes, right?
Right.
Like a couple minutes, and then we got to this conversation. So just now, the people who went up into like gather wood are coming back because they heard the shouts and the screams and all that, right? People in the cave are coming out, and so the whole community of, what did we say, like 30 people, something like that,
Yeah.
right? Are coming down to the beach and are building a pyre with the people who went to gather wood, like, left it all, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll go get the little bit that we gathered because at least we can do like a beach fire. The little bit of the gruesome part is Brad sets about decapitating Anna as well, and takes both heads in a, like, as if he's carrying twins,
Oh.
and
Boy.
disappears into the cave with them. And then the bodies and the remains are put onto the pyre and subsequently set alight. And if there's anything you want to do in that, like, we could certainly call it a short rest because they don't really want you to get involved in the ceremony. But the ceremony does take, a couple hours. It's now midday, and
Technically, it was midday when we set out.
oh, it was midday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you. I thought we'd gone in the morning.
It
Because it
was.
took
We're not
Morning people.
yeah, and it took a couple hours to get over here and to hike.
Yeah.
Some of us have really short legs. No, but you still have the 30 feet movement. I gotta give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I move them really quick. It's not about the size; it's about how you use them.
Yeah. I've heard that said. Yeah, they're going about doing what they need to do. It is worth noting the I need to retcon something. So no, I don't know that I ever said that. It's worth noting, okay, that this is a beach community. There are tents and things that are set out, but there are no, like, there's no drying racks, right? There's no fish hung up. There doesn't even seem to be much in the way of, like, cooking stuff, right?
Okay.
There are, like, a couple of little campfires around the tents, but there's no cook pot. There's no, like, water barrel, anything like that. And that maybe wouldn't have jumped out at you right away, but now we're like, wait a minute. What? And like,
What are these people eating?
yeah, all the little things are starting to cue in, which also,
What were the two doing in the water? If they fishing? If they?
well, they weren't exactly fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are other resources in the water. But anyway, and for Brutus, I think this is you were initially thinking thralls. Well, thralls do need to eat and drink and all that, right?
Yeah.
But this is notable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
the four of you have time while you're sitting around. Anything you need to do for a short rest, feel free to do that in D&D Beyond. And if you just click short rest, it should be fine. I don't think anybody took much damage in that fight, did you?
I don't think so.
I took a little bit, but I healed it back from my vampire.
Oh, yeah.
So
Vampire Catch gives you back half. Yeah.
Since I don't have a need to do a short rest, can I watch this funeral rite closely and see if I can glean anything from it, or kind of?
What you see is a ritual devoid of ritual, right? Like they have decided we need to build a fire and burn these bodies. Is more than anything, it's about disposing of the bodies, right? They don't have any use for the bodies, and it goes up in smoke, right? There's no chant, there's no prayer, there's no symbolism at work. They build a fire and dispose of these bodies, which also don't burn like meat, right? They sort of melt and disintegrate and evaporate.
Oof.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think, like, I am going to take this time. It's like, thank you for trusting me to Brutus. Because, like, I get that all the stuff that happened at Baldur's Gate was terrible. And I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. But, like, I don't know. It just seems like these people who just wanted to be left alone and apologize to the trees for cutting them down and apologize to the fish for fishing them. And apologize to...
Oh, that's the part I need to retcon. It was apologize to any fish, not fish that you catch, right?
Apologize for like the collateral
Yeah.
splash. Yeah.
So, like, when the Sahagin came, and Brad immediately jumped in to help us fight them. And the look on his face when he saw Tevin.
I hear all the stuff you're saying, and I turn to you, and I say, I don't know that look you're talking about. The only thing I could see was his face looking strange and pained. But Gralen was talking about grieving. I don't think they ever taught us to grieve in the contingent. So, I'm sorry if maybe I was doing something a little wrong. But I'll see if I can be more aware of that.
I don't know that it was wrong so much as just you've had your own experiences. And they weren't good ones, it sounded like.
You know what? When you mentioned that, that's sort of when the one encounter that I had with like a nautiloid and watching like my other company members just getting mentally destroyed by these things' psychic powers. Those thoughts kind of start flooding back when I start like really thinking about those old experiences.
But that feeling when you think of...
Pause.
No?
Unless anyone would like to You have an optional wisdom save.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you what happens if you choose to fail it. If you choose to fail the wisdom save, you're going to partake in this memory. Like, not necessarily full living color, right? Like, you are aware that you're hallucinating this strong memory, but you will see firsthand what Brutus experienced on the Nautiloid. If you don't want to do that, we can make a wisdom save. It's a DC 14 wisdom save.
I mean, Jaden's brain is way open to whatever the universe wants to show him, so let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's as they like looking for a connection
Yeah,
in
you're
this
actively
moment.
engaging that. Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. I'm so distracted that I wouldn't even be aware that this is coming on. So it would just happen.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, then we get an overview of how horrible.
Sure. Okay.
Now you, the players, all understand how horrible it would be to have to fight on a Nautiloid and the telepathic control and all the things that they're making them fight each other, and it's horrendous. Okay, it is as horrible as you're imagining. Not to mention the sphincter doors all through the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun stuff.
What else are they
Remember-
called?
Yeah, it's exactly what they are. Yep. You know what? Do you want me to expand on sort of what happened?
Sure.
So the hammer ship is just flying out in wild space, and all of a sudden, like, there are just alarm bells everywhere, and my company, and a couple of other companies get kind of like ordered, hey, we've got a Nautiloid approaching. We need to take care of this thing. It only ended up being like 3 mind flayers and their various assorted other wild space allies. But we all raided the Nautiloid. It was preemptive strike against these folks. And again, like, I just see I'm in the hand-to-hand component of the contingent, and so I firsthand, like, me and one of my earlier companies, I don't think it was the company that I was necessarily with when he did that flashback earlier,
okay.
that was raiding that
The cathedral thing.
Yeah. I think it was maybe before that.
Okay.
So I was younger, but we all get up close with these mind flayers, and I just start seeing my friends getting mind blasted. Maybe I think one of them probably ends up getting paralyzed or gets the mind flayer tentacles wrapped around them, and you actually see their brain being devoured. And so you kind of get, I don't think you necessarily see all that, but you certainly do get impressions.
Yeah.
And because I was younger, I still felt a little more attached to these folks. And so you also felt like that initial, like, burst of grief when you see somebody go, but then that gets just pushed back as deep, like that military training comes in, it gets pushed back as deep as you can. Yeah. And like, when you like see all that, like, you start seeing like the tears kind of like dripping down Brutus's eyes, and you can feel me just like really, again, just doing my best to push it down, but I haven't had to face it in a while.
And now, Brutus, you're also aware that they're sharing in this vision, right? That you're sort of all experiencing this together.
Yeah. Okay.
How much does Brutus want to, like, shut that down or let it play out?
I'm trying to shut it down,
Okay.
but I think I'm like again, if I were to make that wisdom save, I would just fail.
Okay.
Right. So I'm trying to not show you that side of me, but it's coming out anyway.
Okay.
And I think this is like I just go in. It's like, nah, you aren't there anymore, and you can let yourself feel. You don't have to always push it down.
How close are you to me?
I'm like going in for the
Right
hug.
there. Okay, you
Going
feel
in for
like
the
my
hug.
forehead just kind of bury itself onto your chest, and you hear a noise that you've never heard Brutus make. It is just this sort of low, like,
Buddy.
as he starts to, like, really kind of uncork all that. And I mean, I'm on the big side of medium. And so I'm on the ground, again, crisscross applesauce, but I think my head is still like up to your, my head is still like up to your chest sitting down, and you just kind of feel this weight like pressing up against you as I just start like just kind of really coming to terms with all that.
Yeah.
And it's not just coming to terms with the people that I lost at that fight. It's like the life that I lost when I had left, when I was booted out.
Yeah. That you get kind of arms wrapped around you from the other side, so you're like sandwiched in a hug between Jaden and Ezthe.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a group hug.
Okay.
Graylin sneak up behind you.
Oh.
Probably like
Or it could be like
like
grab an
left
arm.
eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right. And I just that's kind of like I think what I do for the next good chunk of time.
Yeah. And then recover from that
And I think Graylin finally has enough context from that flash to figure out that they're mind players.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
and like the true horror
Right.
of mind players of like
yeah.
eating people's brains and all that and like controlling them and that's a nightmare, right? So it's also clear why if Brad is a thrall or a mind flayer or something, like why he couldn't just let you leave after
Right.
having seen what you've seen, but he's also not like attacking you or mind controlling you right now. So,
Yeah. I think, like, at an appropriately, like, time after Brutus has, like, calmed and, like, worked through those motions a little bit. So it's going to take a while. I think Jaden would kind of relay his experience to the group of, like, there's a chance this guy is, like, cool and things will be okay. Like, I mean, there was this one time I was backpacking through the Underdark and I spent a couple weeks with these Myconids. And there was this Lae'zel guy there. He was just a merchant. He wasn't trying to mind flay anybody or make people thralls. He was just cool. He was a cool dude. It could be something like that.
Oh, go for it.
We're in a skeleton town.
Do the skeletons have minds to flay?
I mean, no.
the
What I mean,
skeletons
though,
don't.
is like
Yeah.
the like
Some of the children are flesh people.
when
though.
we were at the truck
There are
stop,
people, yeah.
the same thing happened.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Skeletons, evil, bad. They're
Yeah.
just trying to live their lives. New lives.
Yeah.
New unlives.
Yeah.
Existences. And like, yes, tons of skeletons are bad. And yes, I also appreciate that this was a really shitty situation. And like, I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm not trying to minimize what happened to Baldur's Gate. But I am saying, like, I don't see a difference.
Okay, so at a sort of academic level, the difference would be that mind flayers need brains to live, and like the brains of intelligent species. All right, so not saying you could go with that, right? Like that's fine. But if anybody felt like, well, there is a difference. Like the skeletons don't have to bother anybody, right?
Yeah.
Like these guys ostensibly have to abduct people and eat their brains, potentially.
Now that Graydon has a hint of that, would it be possible for me to do a sending message to Cornelia
Yeah.
and just say, hey, we made it to that group of people. They might maybe be mind flayers. They seem pretty cool right now, but just in case, if you don't hear from us tonight,
I'm gonna. Does sending require you to roll anything or do anything?
I think so. Nope, you send it.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to make an intelligence save.
Intelligence save. You sure you want intelligence?
Yeah,
You sure?
yeah, and it is a DC 18. I'm afraid.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, sorry.
18.
Really?
No. Is that's the number I need to beat?
Yeah.
How about 8?
Oh,
No.
that's one of the numbers.
Is 8 good enough?
No.
It's
No.
like an 18.
It's just one of those, like, if you fail by 5 or more, just to gird my loins about this.
Yeah. Okay, so does sending cost you anything? Like, is it a leveled spell or is it's a cantrip?
Oh, no, it's a level spell.
or well, you could probably cast it with ritual, right? I would think sending.
Let me see.
It's gotta have a ritual tag. So one of my house rules is that most non-combat spells can be cast as rituals.
Oh, I'm sorry. It costs me a copper wire.
That's fine.
A copper wire, but it is. I only have it as a 3rd level spell,
Okay. So
and it does not seem to have can be cast as ritual. Yeah, no.
okay. Then yeah, sending 3rd level spell. Do you have 3 spell points?
I have 6 left.
Okay.
So this will be 3 of my 6.
Yeah, I think that was it's bad. I'm gonna make you spend the 3 spell
No, go
points,
for it. Yeah, I did it.
and
And
it ricochets off it's like you fired a shot inside a dome, right? And it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like the sending goes nowhere, right? And it just not literally ricocheting around the beach,
right. No, I
right?
understand.
But it's like you went to send this, and this invisible dome like becomes visible from not in a literal sense, but there's a shell
Right.
that you are not able to communicate outside of.
Oh.
Like, you could have done the sending to Jaden,
Right.
right? Like that
Yeah.
would have been
Like a
fine.
message would have been fine, or sending right here would have been fine. but-
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna tell everybody. So I tried to contact Cornelia. I think we're in a dead zone. Can't send
There's no
things
signal.
outside of here.
That's not good.
You start raising your holy symbol, like trying.
Can you hear me now? How about now?
Can you heal me now?
I think Jaden wanted to do this anyway, but that does give him a little bit of pause. Like, I can see why they wouldn't want us to like get a message out, even if they were cool. But it doesn't give me confidence. I would like to use augury
Yeah.
to get an omen for the situation.
Yeah.
Vibe check.
Do you have to? Is that a spell?
2nd level divination.
That's the wheel woe,
Yeah.
either or spell, right?
Yes. So what do I roll?
Let's see. Receive an omen for a course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. So
Okay.
if I do this, what will happen? So
Yeah.
what is your plan of action?
If we hear Brad out, kind of, is that good or bad for us?
Okay.
Is what he's kind of like.
Right. Like, are we waiting to be eaten?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you cast it. There is. It looks like you don't roll anything. I
Nope.
just give
I
you
just do
information.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
So you spend your 2 spell points.
Great.
It's like one of my favorite like spells because I love seeing how DMs interpret it.
Yeah, that's great. And then we choose an omen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the best I can say is the indifference omen, right? Of like,
Okay.
it is neither good nor bad to wait,
Okay.
right? If that's your plan, is it's not a blessing, it's not a curse,
Okay.
which feels like you could interpret that as like, okay, we're probably not going to get eaten because that would be bad.
That would definitely be bad.
Like,
Yes.
Jaden considers that a negative outcome.
Super
So
does.
that is not likely, but it also doesn't seem like this is going to be awesome.
Okay.
So
But it's not an immediate bummer,
no,
which is good.
yeah, it's not a woe.
Yeah.
And it's not even wheel and woe, like good and bad, right?
Okay.
It is more of a neither situation.
Okay.
It's like using the language of vibe check. It's a meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neutral.
Yeah.
Okay. So he would definitely share that. He's like, I'm not getting bad vibes from the stars on hearing Brad out. Like,
What does it look like when you cast this spell?
oh, that's a good question. Cause, oh, this is dumb and terrible. I think what he has is like a bag of stardust
Mm.
that he like just tosses some into the air and then like interprets the sparkles,
Mhm.
like the shape of it.
Yeah. And it just like hangs in the air for a moment, just like a
Yeah,
little
and like
pinch of it.
kind of arranges itself. You know, like that, like those like magnet wand
Well, I'll
little
tell you,
toy things.
what I'm picturing is the GIF meme, the GIF, just one F, of the like unicorn guy, or I think it's a guy. He just has like a glitter, like
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it like hangs up there and makes a shape.
Yeah.
And he's like,
So kind of glitter Ghost Rider.
okay, and then puts it back in the bag.
okay. Yeah, and the the constellation that it draws for you is one of like the scales, and we see it balance back and forth, and then they just sort of just even out.
Okay. Okay. So not immediate danger, which is great. I love that for us. We're not gonna like get anything. It's not gonna be a party. I'm sorry, Ezthe.
I mean, that much. I had given up on that idea. What with the
Yeah.
dying.
But the universe isn't like, hey, don't do that. So
I just find it weird that they had a moment of true grief, but everything since has been so non-ceremonial and structural and productive.
Mhm.
I can't get a good read on this anymore. And I didn't really know what we were dealing with before until, well, I don't know if you shared it intentionally, but until we were able to see your memories, I didn't have a frame of reference. But now that I do, I don't know how I feel anymore.
I think when you talk about me sharing the memory,
Mhm.
I feel a little. I mean, I've had to deal with the emotions that kind of came pouring out, right? But I do feel kind of embarrassed about it. And I think unintentionally, just sort of as a little defense mechanism, I get up and I look at the scene in front of us, right? All of whatever this enclave is called. I don't think we've kind of gotten any kind of name for them either, or
I
whatever
don't
this
think they've
settlement is
named
called.
it. I certainly
Brad and
right.
the Brads.
Yeah, Bradtown,
Bradton, yeah. And
Bradderton.
Great Braddington.
Yeah.
I look at the scene and I say, well, if you all think we should hear Brad out, I suppose we should go talk to him.
well, he said he was gonna come back. Yeah.
Yeah, he disappeared into the cave. Like once the fires were lit, he carried the heads into the cave
Mm-hmm.
and indicated that he was going to come back out and talk to you.
Yeah.
Do we want to just wait here then until Brad returns, or do we want to like approach the situation again?
He was pretty weird about us going near the cave before.
It kind of. They're all giving off. Please don't get involved with our.
Don't look in the cave vibes.
It is also worth noting, like what Gralen's picking up of this like lack of ceremony. Like several of them, like they got the fire going, they saw that the bodies were burning, and they watch for a few minutes, and they're sad, right? But then one by one they just leave, right? They go back to other tasks, but it's also pretty late afternoon at this point. And because we're on the east side of the island, the sun is setting like behind the trees and the hills, right? So it's getting relatively dark.
Yeah.
And the light of the fire is here. It's also worth noting the smell, like when the bodies burn, it doesn't smell like kind of what you'd expect. It's more of I want to put it in terms of like ammonia, right? It's like a hot ammonia smell in the air.
Yeah.
That's
Sharp
not
to the nostrils.
yeah,
and-
like
Ernie.
it's astringent,
Mm-hmm.
and unpleasant. But it's not like a smell that's blanketing the beach, right?
Mhm.
But like when the wind shifts and you're like, oh, that's not nice.
Do we have a show tonight?
Oh, with the circus? I think you were.
This was like the second. This was the second day that we've been, or like
We said we're
second
taking a
night,
day off.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's- yeah, the
No show.
circus is
There's
dark.
other
Oh,
acts
that's right.
besides
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
be back tomorrow night.
Because
Yeah,
they
okay.
know, like, because we were like, okay, cool, we have this job, and they're,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of the,
Yep.
Okay.
Because the town asked you to come do this.
Yeah.
So, Mayor Frisk.
Mm,
and we always get so many more tips when we come back after having done a job, because obviously from, having a night off,
Yeah.
and then you come back and people are that much more excited to see you.
I'm getting kind of restless. Like whether these folks are cool, I don't think I necessarily want to be here any longer than we have to be.
Can we really tell Mayor Frisk if they're a threat or not if we don't get the full story, though?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I just like I want to do something with
Yeah.
myself, I think is what it is.
But we see that Brutus is antsy and like
yeah,
pacing, maybe walking around on the beach, and
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think similarly, like, Gralen is also far more uneasy now. Like,
Mhm.
just the mixture of information he got so quickly. Like,
Yep.
they're not actually doing a ceremony. We're somehow cut off from the outside.
Mhm.
They're actually very dangerous creatures. Like, all of that hit me at once, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to be here either.
Okay. So, we'll get into it's a little bit of a twilight period. Like we can see the sun through the tops of the trees, right? But we're in that afternoon, early evening gloom,
Mhm.
and the beach, the pyre has died down, and everyone has left it. Like once that was like, okay, that did what it was supposed to do, and people have moved on to do the other things. You can see the people have in the course of this couple hours, right, they have also gone to like bundle up the nets and things that they had taken into the water. They, put the wood cutting tools back in one of the tents and, kind of just put things away and, tidy up. That's the overall vibe. Then in that early evening light, Brad comes back out of the cave, and with him, did his husband have a name?
Oh, I don't think we named husband. Oh,
Yeah.
also, I
No,
have
they just call each other babe.
They were just big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a dumb name suggestion for the beach.
Yeah.
Point Brad.
That's his name.
Point Brad.
Brad.
Like it's so
And he
much.
resisted that, right? But they all call it Point Brad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Please tell me that the spouse's name is like Chad.
What?
Brad and Chad.
Husband?
That completely
Done.
co-opted into terribleness, though.
Well, but
It could be Tad.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Short for Thaddeus, of course, but Tad. Yeah. Okay. So Brad and Tad come out of the cave holding hands, and they're just walking across the beach. There are a few other people sort of milling around, like doing the things they're supposed to do, and they are ostensibly keeping an eye on you without guarding you, right? It's one step below guarding you, but Brad clearly told them, like, hey, let's keep an eye on these guys. All right. And then Brad and Tad are crossing the beach to come talk to you.
Oh, nice. Do you think he'll teach me that suplex trick?
Maybe.
Can you teach me that suplex trick?
Well,
Oh, yeah, easy.
I can teach you a few of those.
Although with Esthe's wiry frame, like it does require some amount of strength or leverage.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
it's not always about it's not
Yeah.
about it's like it was said earlier. It's not about the size.
Yeah,
It's about how you
Yeah.
use it.
true.
Gralen.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't remember who said that exactly. Why that was poignant.
Just seemed to come from the air because as I was looking out, I didn't see anything.
Hurtful.
Yep.
I mean, we just magic. It would be cool for the act.
So, the two of them come to where you've sort of set up. I think there's maybe like a ring of driftwood sort of set up as benches.
Mm-hmm.
And they sit down across from you, and Brad is just physically larger than Thaddeus, but Tad's on his right, and Tad has Brad's big hand in both of his, and is just sort of like holding Brad's hand in his lap,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Brad is sort of like leaning on his other elbow, and says, so thanks for waiting and hanging around. Our situation is complicated, especially with the horrible things that happened in Baldur's Gate. And so here's the thing. We're not just refugees from Baldur's Gate. This is a colony of mind flayers. And I've allowed them and encouraged them to keep their own minds. Because I don't think it's good the way some of the other colonies are managed. All right, so I need to pause here and see if anybody would like to roll history. I would also accept Arcana.
I will roll.
I'm gonna try.
I would have done history, but Arcana's much better.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not great at either of them, but
I'll go
I'll
Art
see
the
what
same.
Brutus
Arcana.
Oh,
Need 15s.
Yeah, that
Oh,
didn't
I
happen, but at
crushed
least
that.
it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
You.
I mean, it was a 10, so I
Oh.
feel like that's the closest
21.
I've ever gotten to.
21. Okay, that's
21.
great.
Not quite. 11.
Okay.
Yeah, just shy with a 14.
Okay. Well, it's kind of fun that that Gralen's the one to get this then. Like your book learning about them, is like, oh wait a minute, and you just saw that big fight.
because till now it's not that I don't know what they are.
Right.
It's that I'm the least experienced.
Yes, you
But
just
like
not
now
come
that I
face
know,
to face,
yeah.
So like not only Illithid, but Illithid colony means there's an elder brain involved, which is the way it's written about almost entirely evil, because it has just like come to terms with like I have to eat sentient brains, right? And like I'm a apex predator and I'm gonna eat the brains of people I can catch, right? I'm gonna mind control them to come to me and I'll eat them, right? And I'm gonna have my mind flayer thralls bring me people to eat, and eat my mind flayers when they get killed so I can absorb their memories. Like that's what a colony is, right? And there should be an elder brain in a big brine pool somewhere.
Like a cave.
That would be a place to put one, yeah. But Brad is saying, I let them.
Right. That's the part of yeah.
So
I would. Are you? Are you an elder brain?
oh, yeah. So I'm gonna put an illusion up so people can't see into the beach. Cool?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna need y'all to not freak out.
Every time I tell people that, they freak out more.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's because generally I explode right afterwards.
sure. So anyway, if you attack me, it's not gonna go well for you. Right? I don't want to hurt you, but I'll defend myself. So I just want you to like be mentally prepared for a shock.
Okay. I grip the driftwood bench that I'm sitting on. I grip it kind of tightly with my hands.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he gestures. There's a little like a sort of where you saw the impression of that dome, right? It now also becomes a like the beach is showing a different scene. If you're like outside the dome looking at the beach, they've recorded and looped the feed.
Gotcha.
Right? And so, but Brad does this enormous illusion with just like an offhanded gesture, right? First of all, and then stands up from actually just stays there. He just stays sitting there, and then also we're sort of venturing into potentially X card territory. So let me know if I need to adjust anything. But Brad, well, let's see, who's our let's say I'm going to give you this one for free. There is this transmutation magic that happens, right? So it's not an illusion, but right away you could just feel like instinctively, right? You don't necessarily know if it was polymorph or whatever. Like I'm not going to give you that information, but you just know like this is a transformation, not dropping an illusion. Okay. And Brad ostensibly, like you could see the face and the body is like not as muscly and big, but it like kind of looks like him, right? But from like a couple inches above the eyebrows and then down behind the ears, that back 3/4 of the skull is gone because there's a brain that's too big to fit in a skull. That is exposed, and then the legs of what were maybe like you remember what the intellect devourers look like, those little four-legged like brains? It's like those are clamped onto the back of the neck, and now it's all like merged onto the body, right? It's not just riding the body like a pony.
Yeah.
It's like merged on there, and you can see where the intellect devourer's tail has sort of like plugged into the spinal cord, right, of this body. And it's horrible, right? It's maybe the grossest thing you've seen since the inside of the whale, right? Maybe grosser because it's humanoid, right? And the rest of the people milling around the beach, including Tad, also transform into mind flayers. So everyone here is a colony of about 30 mind flayers with an ambulatory tiny elder brain, right? An elder brain could like is at least a large creature, if not bigger, right? So would be 10 feet long, right? This is a much smaller thing, but so Brad, reveals this transformation. And to be clear, he transforms himself and sort of gestures to everyone else, and all of the other people just go, they do like a quick little gesture and, release their transformation, right? So.
What do you all eat?
Well, that's fair, dude. There's this like pretty gruesome looking face, right? Like his mouth opens and you can see the brain through, like it's just a faceplate, right? Like you can, there's nothing in the mouth, right? But its jaw moves and he's talking, right?
Is it like pulsing?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nasty. Right? Probably like glowing a little bit.
Oh, you
How does it
bugged
stay so slimy?
What?
How does it
bugged
stay so slimy when you don't have anything to keep the slime in?
Well, that's probably part of their challenge. And it is also notable, like you got the information on an elephant colony. If you take an elderbrain out of its nasty bath, it dies soon, right? Like it doesn't last long outside of that. So transporting them is almost impossible. They make a lair and they stay there and bring things to them because it's very difficult to move around. So that there's so many incongruous facts,
All right.
right? Based on, but compared to what you were looking at in the face, the most disgusting face possible. Sorry, what question was he answering?
What do you all eat?
Oh, yeah. So, we have to eat brains, right?
I do.
So, we came here because, well, we survived the end of the battle on people who had died in the battle. Okay? Straight up. And that's not great. But they were already dead. And then we left because we had a clue that there might be a different way to live. So technically we eat brains, but it's hard to explain that we don't have to kill people. And I will need you to come in the cave to show you what I mean. But I understand that probably sounds like a scary proposition. You turn it like you could see from the side of the face, you could see out the mouth, because it's not totally stuck against the brain. It is just this like talking faceplate. And then the rest of the body is, relatively.
He's inviting us to the party cave.
This is true.
Are you still?
Are you sure it's not a good omen?
Definitely neutral. So neutral bodes well for not immediately dying in the cave. Can I get like a does it seem like he's telling the truth?
You want to roll insight?
Sure.
Okay.
I
will say,
you asked about hearing him out. We already heard him out. We don't know from here on.
Here's just say, the DC is not very high. Let's say the DC is like 13, but I'm gonna have you roll disadvantage because reading this thing's body language is a little strange.
It's just
Sure,
a
yeah.
faceplate.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like getting insight on an animatronic.
yeah. Talk about uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 2 9s and a 10 on the dice.
Oh,
So
that's a critical.
that's a crit, and
Yeah.
I got a +7 to that.
Ooh,
So
hey.
read
Okay.
the shit out of this
Yeah.
abomination
So,
body language.
Yeah, not only is he telling the truth, but you have decoded his strange body language, right? And
Uh-huh.
you realize like what was strange was this version of his body moves more like a marionette, right? Like it's a little unsteady, which is why his transformed body moves much more synchronously, right? It's because it's not just an illusion. It's like he's actually probably used polymorph
Yeah.
and, taken a different shape. And he's not a brain the size of a house, right? Like,
Right.
all those things combined. But it's a little like marionette or a little like the Edgar suit from
Yes.
From
Yeah.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Your
like
skin's hanging off your bones.
yeah. Sugar in water.
This whole time, I've really had a mental image that is warring to take over, which is what's his face from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like
Oh, Crane.
Oh, yeah.
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 Crane?
Like-
Is that right?
I think
Yeah,
so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pulled
yeah.
that out of nowhere.
I was like, oh
I
yeah,
love
that
TMNT though.
guy. Man,
Do you know that came from a comic that was actually ridiculously violent?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
kind of
Yep.
it was like political commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super dark and
Yeah, really
Yep.
smart and interesting writing and
Yeah.
turned into this like
amazing children's
multicolor,
cartoon
amazing, yeah.
with the best turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was like Deadpool level darkness,
Yeah.
you know? But
I mean, I always wanted to be a Leonardo, but like, let's be real. Like, I am more of a Raphael.
I'm a Donatello all the way.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's fine.
I was like, smart one who makes things. But really, I just smash.
Yeah.
I smash so much.
Smash and smash.
Like,
Look,
angry
Raphael,
and
Yeah, okay,
stupid.
anybody does, Raphael.
I like Michelangelo could get it, but like he's not necessarily chasing it the way
Yeah,
Raphael, you know,
yeah.
like
Fair enough.
I'm glad we got there in our conversation.
So Brad's telling the truth.
Yes. And you now have like decoded his body language and you won't have to roll insight again.
Okay.
All right. So he's telling you the truth and probably doesn't mean you harm. That part's hard to tell.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Yeah, he says, I need you to come in the cave. I promise we're not going to eat you. And that's true.
Okay. I will tell everybody that is true.
Oh, I'm going in this cave. I've wanted to go in this cave for hours.
If you like
Hours.
get up and like start walking, I'll walk after. And then, you know, I'm same thing. I'm tense, but I trust y'all.
Hours.
I didn't want to go, but I will go because I don't want us to be split up.
Yeah.
So, quick question. Have you all been experiencing any sort of like weird visions or anything like that today?
I just give like a quick like hesitant nod.
Okay.
Like, I'm guessing that's why you told me not to breathe on the beach earlier.
Yeah, sorry. Not a practical piece of advice. Dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, I'm guessing my parents aren't really here enjoying a big kegger. Because,
Yeah, dude, sorry. Nasty pulsing brain. Don't lose sight of that, okay? It is, and it's still Chris Hemsworth doing a Keanu Reeves impression, right?
Oh no.
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, did that have something to do with you?
Okay. So there this cave has a small connection to the Underdark. And we have some well, there's some things growing in there. And when the wind shifts or if the water gets in the cave, sometimes it doesn't affect us the same way. So we didn't really notice. And I realized that it would probably, well, might get you guys a little fucked up.
it is a party cave.
It is a party cave. Is that going to make it difficult for you to show us what you need to show us?
Yeah. So if you guys have been seeing stuff, you should probably put something over your nose and mouth today when we go in the cave.
Okay.
Out here, it's pretty mild. It's going to be a little more intense in there.
Just hands people scarves.
Yeah.
I'll grab the scarf. I think what I'll do is I'll soak it in like salt water and then like wrap it around my face.
Sure. Yep.
I've had my head full of Jaden's scarf before.
Jaden's had his head full of hallucinogens before, so he's fine.
Yeah.
Put the scarf on. Let's go.
I pulled down my makeshift banner. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody covers their face, and we'll head into the cave. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. We still have half an hour of game time. Am I right? Everyone's like, we're out in half an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great. We head to the cave. We sort of crunch down the gravelly beach. We can smell the ocean is taking over. Like the ammonia smell has wafted away at this point. You know, the fire is burned down. There's basically no remnant of Tevin and Anna. Nothing left over there. And we make our way down to the cave. It's kind of nice that it's dark because your eyes are adjusting as you go. And as they do, you can see the tiniest hint of glimmer inside the cave. You walk down in front of the cliff, and you can see, like, even if you had been out swimming, you might not have noticed this cave, right? It's like, it's just that perfect angle, you know, of like, if you look at it, it all just sort of fades into it. So there's no illusion in effect. There's nothing right now, at least. But there is a soft yellow-green glow along the walls. And as you step into the cave, you find yourself in it's a relatively small, like a 10 by 10 sort of round opening to get into the cave, and then it opens up into a relatively level, like it doesn't just go underground, right? But it goes into the cliff of the island, right? And there are little tide pools. Like, clearly, if the tide comes up high enough, it gets like ankle deep in here, and then it goes back out, and the water sluices back out, and it's fine, right? But we have some little like salty tide pools and odds and ends in here. And right at the mouth of the cave, there's nothing too exciting, right? But you do have, like, there are people already inside, illithids, right? And there are illithids that are following you in, and it's just like, there's like 30 illithids and this elder brain on legs that is that are escorting you into this cave. And it's otherwise it's sort of a bioluminescent lichen situation at the opening here, and then it gets dark for a little bit, and then it's further back into the cave. And Brad and Tad are leading the way, checking to, you know, make sure you're keeping up, or, you know, everybody cool?
Is it like darkness or dim light in here?
Dim.
Dim? Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on his body language as we go, just to like make sure he stays relaxed and non-threatening. So
Yeah, he's
as
not
long as
relaxed.
he's cool, we're cool.
He's tense,
Yeah.
right? Because he's worried about what could happen,
Okay,
right? But he's not like,
but it's not like bracing to
Yeah.
pounce. No, okay,
Right.
great.
that.
Yeah,
It's a whole body language that he doesn't have.
okay.
Okay, so
You said we're in dim light?
Yeah.
Can I touch the staff that is now devoid of symbol and cast light on it?
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that just so we can see.
Brad casts counterspell,
On my
Oh.
light. Oh,
yeah,
Oh, interesting.
and he
Okay.
turns. He like does it like sort of before he realizes he's doing it. He's like, "Oh, dude, not in here."
Hmm. Again, another time where I try to do things. Okay. Okay.
I know you're supposed to get a saving throw versus it,
No,
but
no,
it's a
I
cantrip, and it's,
understand.
you know.
Yeah, it's all
whatever.
good. It's all
Totally
good.
get that.
Yeah. So we head further in, your eyes adjust, and then it actually gets brighter a little bit further in. It's still, you know, like borderline dim light. It's definitely not a bright light situation,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
thematically, right? But you can see pretty well. Your eyes are adjusting. Anyone with dark vision can see perfectly well. But it is bright enough that the average person would be able to see fine. Okay?
Okay.
And you find yourself in a it's clearly connected to a cave network, right? Like this space keeps going back, but you're in a roughly like a deflated basketball shape, right? It's this like or like cheese wheel, right?
Okay,
It's like a mostly round, flat on the top and bottom kind of space in the cave that you could tell like it started as this like kind of weird shape in the middle, and they've hollowed it out a little bit to make room. And all along is there's the part where you come in, and there's a couple exits towards the back of the room, the back of this inner cave, and there are these what look like cauliflower things growing on the sides inside of the cave. Well, on the sides down low to where like the tendrils of these I mean, they're kind of like a cauliflower fungus sort of thing. And the tendrils of it dip down into the little salty tide pools that gather. The smell in here is rich. It is, salt water. It is tepid, like brackish salt water. It is the kind of funk of fungi that smell sort of overwhelming level. And the temperature is surprisingly warm, right? It's not hot, but it's muggy.
Yeah,
You
it's,
know?
like, humid in the
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's a humidity to it, and you can see. I'm gonna have everybody roll investigation.
I think this is like the very definition of swampy, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, it's swampy in here.
Investigation.
There's very little movement in the air. There's no cave breeze. Some caves have a lot of air motion. This one does not.
This is not one of them.
9.
9 is not gonna do it right away.
17.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you some information in a minute.
7.
Okay,
Hey, right there.
Okay.
7.
so for the
I like
three
it
of
that
you,
I'm the only one with an actual positive score
Yeah.
intelligence, and it's showing.
yeah, I think, and it actually kind of makes sense for the situation. So for the three of you, just go along with that. You know that when you're looking at one of those, it's like the candlesticks or two people kissing. You know
Yeah.
those kinds of pictures. Like for you, it's still candlesticks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Gralen, you walk by, and as you're lower to the ground, right? And these things sort of grow at the bottom side of the cave. The top of the cave has bioluminescent stuff, right? Like it's glowy and, yellows and oranges, and that's kind of the color scheme in here. And you walk by like, oh, these little cauliflower looking, like the size of a watermelon, like a big ass cauliflower. And then you realize one of them's actually like, there's a little ring of hair around the back. And you realize this is like a head that's sort of like tipped over. And there's a human head, as far as you can tell. Maybe an elf, the ears are gone. It's a humanoid, like
a humanoid creature.
yeah. The face is kind of like face planted into the mud, and this the brain has grown out the back of the skull into this sort of watermelon size looking. It doesn't look. It looks more like a cauliflower than a brain at this point. But it's nasty.
Yeah, that's so. Like, Gralen is at the sincere moment of, do I even want them to see this? Like, do I even want?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I share that. I think
Okay.
I straight to Brad, and is this what you wanted us to see?
Yeah. So it's still kind of a work in progress, but I think we have a way to cultivate and grow the thing that we need to survive without killing anyone else.
Where did you get the initial seed?
Well, the battle in Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
Are we all stepping in this water at this point? Okay.
I mean, it's not even ankle deep, right?
Oh,
it's
sure,
just,
sure.
Like there are places you could step into, but there's like
Yeah.
kind of a central pathway.
Yeah.
Oh, they're almost like little sort of like stepped farming or rice paddy sort of
Sure. Yeah.
arrangements along the edge of the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could step carefully out to like cultivate
other
something.
layers of
Yeah.
these. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
And there's probably but in this huge room, right? There's a big room of, I don't know, maybe 100 feet across, right? 30 meters, right? It's a pretty big room. There are maybe a dozen of these cauliflowers.
Okay. A dozen of these cauliflowers, all in those little like rice paddy tier kind of areas.
Yeah.
Do I
And
see any
but there are dozens of little patties that they could be growing in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Do I see any movement in the water?
no.
Okay. All right. Okay. How long does it take for this to kind of sink in for the rest of us, just out of curiosity?
Um,
I think we're all looking around, right? Like kind of surveying our surroundings.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from the conversation, you should be able to pick it up. Like
Yeah.
from the conversation that you
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
If
think at
Brad's not
this
being-
point the image flips,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh
Not cauliflower.
no.
Yeah.
Brain.
Yeah.
I was like, as I was getting more and more excited as we got into this place, and I'm like, these must be the drugs.
Not the drug.
Drugs. And there is a full, like, very disappointed, very sad, pretty grossed out, and trying not to show that part
Trying to be polite.
because it is rude to, like, be grossed out by other people's food.
Mhm. We don't yuck someone's yum unless they murdered to get it. Then we could yuck murder.
But it does sound like that question has been answered.
Yeah.
is.
Dang it, like, and he's definitely telling the truth. I was wanting the, like, is he telling the truth
Yeah.
or not? But you busted
So-
that code.
Reduce, reuse, reanimate situation going on here.
Has this been replicable? Is this sustainable?
Well, we don't know. We've only been here a few weeks. But these ones are growing.
Here is our concern. On the other side of the island, there is a village of mostly skeletons, but some people who have flesh and brains.
Necromancers?
No.
I don't understand.
Roll with it. This is, you can understand not understanding, right? This is what you've asked of
It's a
us.
town of skeletons and
They didn't choose to be what they are, but this is their existence and they're making the best of it.
You should
Okay,
be familiar.
So out of character, like, no one's heard of sentient skeletons before, right? So just saying there are skeletons there is like, okay, there's a mindless, shambling mass of skeletons wandering around. Is like what anyone's normal assumption would be.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But he's also an elder brain walking around showing us brain farms.
Sure.
So my point is, yeah, return the favor.
Well, what I mean is, he doesn't know that you're saying they're intelligent.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
No,
all right.
they've maintained their, I'm going to use this word, humanity. They are still thinking, acting, believing individuals.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes. However, not everyone, not the important part, not everyone in that village is a skeleton. And we need to ensure their safety. And so long as,
So they were raised as skeletons, but retained their personality and agency.
yes,
That's kind of what I'm trying to give my people here.
Right. So you
Right.
can understand
So you
why
can
we would want to
understand.
protect them.
well, exactly.
Wow. I didn't think we'd find anything in common. What did you want to say?
You can't eat the people in the village across the island.
Bro, we don't want to eat people.
I understand you don't want to, but I also understand that life finds a way. So how can we be sure that won't, how can we assure them that that is a thing that won't happen?
Well, you could not tell them about us.
That's not gonna happen. I mean, no offense, but like, for a number of different reasons. Definitely, very diplomatically, doesn't say Gralen has never kind of been able to keep a secret in his life.
So what Brad says to this is like,
become lore.
oh, so you guys don't keep secrets about stuff?
Some of us do.
I need Brad to make a saving throw. That's not good enough, actually.
Hmm.
So Brad is accidentally reading your mind. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I need to
What a mind to read.
hold on. I'm gonna do detect thoughts. You get a saving go. You get to make a wisdom save.
Okay. That's a thing that has a possibility of succeeding. I mean, it's an 8, so probably not.
No. What is the secret you're thinking of that you keep?
It's the butt pearl.
Okay. So
Definitely.
for a moment, you get this like fast forward recall of like, yeah, and let's not tell Gralen about it. And you know, like that moment, and then whoop, into someone's pocket. I forget who has it. You have it. I think.
Yeah.
And then Brad like takes 3 quick steps away from you. It's like, bro, I am so sorry. I try really hard not to do that. Please accept my apology.
It's all good. I'll try to think softer.
It's on me. It's my responsibility to control this power that I have.
No, it's cool. I know I'm loud. I know. It's fine. But not the point.
Right. So you guys,
And like very
you
actively
do
trying
keep
not.
secrets and then looks at Gralen.
Oh, subtle.
You want to roll insight for me?
Yeah. When did Gralen become the snitch? He snitched. Insight. 21.
Yeah. You know he's surprised that Ezthe is keeping a secret from you. But he doesn't, you know, and he's like not a good liar because elder brains don't have to fucking lie.
Right.
They just make people do what they want, the bad ones, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't have to convince anyone. They just make you think what they want you to think. And so he just totally like,
Like this shoots eyes between the two of us.
yeah, like
Amazing.
clearly you're keeping a secret from him, right? It's the
Can I-
body language.
Can I roll insight against Ezthe?
I mean, you know Esthé's keeping a secret.
Okay, cool.
We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be fine. It's fine.
Or do you want to have him roll insight?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We'll figure it out later.
Okay.
There are more important things to deal with right now, aren't there? Aren't
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Brad's question, like, so you guys don't keep secrets?
Okay, look, we got hired to do a job. We have to do the job.
The town of Bryan, they know there's people here. They want to know that you guys aren't a threat. So I think what my friends are trying to ask is, if your crops need more seeds, where are you planning to get those?
Well, these should become more like they'll.
This will replicate, so you don't
Yeah.
need additional people's brains.
Has that happened yet?
Again, should.
Yeah.
Yeah, come here. And he like calls you over to the section where like you don't see any, right?
Uh-huh.
And he gestures, and the water sort of like, it's as if he's pushing the water down with a ball, right? Like it creates this convex, concave shape, and under there is like a little, it's like a quarter of a brain. If you had just like dissected the brain, right? And like a, you know, those potato projects where it's like that, right? So they took a partially grown cauliflower mushroom brain and started it here, and you can see the little tendrils leaching into the dirt, the mud of the floor here in the nasty brine.
So wait, just to make sure I'm understanding, they have taken something they have grown and planted it, and it has rooted,
Yeah, I mean it's not totally thriving yet,
but it has rooted.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's
That's
a
actually
very good cutting, actually.
Yeah,
really
and now
impressive.
right away though, that the surface of that planting starts to like
Oh.
dry and then he lets the
Yeah.
brine cover it again. But so it's clearly a delicate entity.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. But the ones that you can see have like come up out of the water and are like thriving because they're big enough and they have a sort of outer.
The bodies, the need to do it quickly was to get the brain out. That's why there was no ceremony.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, illithid brains wouldn't be able to do this. I had to eat them. And I didn't want to do it in front of you.
That's fair.
Can that think? I kind of pointed the little brain that was inside the brine.
I don't think so, dude. I don't get any telepathic energy from it. Or not energy, but like impulse.
Can I? Okay. I don't know exactly what I would use for this. I'm a druid. Can I look at this farming situation they have and see if I can assess whether or not it seems sustainable to
You
me?
pull out the
I know it's like a
clipboard
weird, like not like plant situation, but like
No, I mean,
Whatever they're doing,
kind
is
of
gonna
actually.
help. Because I'm a force. No, gonna help.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. It is worth noting that fungi are barely understood in real life.
fair, yeah.
Right? Like they are not plants. They're not animals in the way that we understand regular plants and stuff to work. Like they do a bunch of stuff that's similar, but like fucking wild world of unknown shit there. However, there is a spore druid, right? Who
Okay.
that is their domain.
Right.
Right? And I think understanding
mine,
that no, but you can also turn into animals. You could like druids have a lot in common, and you have your major, your specialty.
And we have established that I spent a couple weeks with a bunch of fungus people.
Yeah.
So
So, I would let's see.
I've met some fungus people once. It definitely means I know all about them.
And part of my backstory was I
Hey,
was collecting mushrooms.
Some
for
of my
people.
best friends are mushroom people.
they party hard.
Yeah, I said part of my backstory was I was collecting mushrooms for people.
Oh yeah.
So like I also have familiarity with mushrooms.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I want to look up. Shit, what was I gonna look up?
Are we just like the mushroom crew?
Come on, Brandon.
Are we figuring this out?
the shroom crew. Were you looking up spores druids? Or?
I was gonna look up the druid craft spell.
That's what I was looking at. I mean, I also have like a pretty decent score in nature, so like I could use that, I guess. But yeah, I want to see if like I think it'll work, and if there's anything I could do to like help them make it work.
Yeah. You don't have well, there's like an opposite to blight, I think.
Oh, I don't think I have that.
We have bloom.
Yeah, I have the bloom thing.
Yeah, that's part of druid craft.
What does my staff do? My fancy staff of the woodlands thing.
I don't remember.
Wall of thorns, bark skin, locate animals.
Oh, I think this is a fun bit of James V is saying that part of the illithid lore is that the consumption of brains is also consumption of the memories, and the illithids perceive that as flavor.
Yeah.
So this commune is
Oh.
committing to eating nothing but like basically unflavored rice cakes for the rest of their existence.
Yeah.
Oh, unseasoned, unbuttered potatoes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Just-
like, or maybe like poached chicken.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the MCU diet, unsaid
Yeah.
diet.
Like, just flavorless.
Huh.
I'm holding back on saying so many things right now. I just need that acknowledged.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, I think Druidcraft is probably the closest thing I have.
Yeah. It doesn't require any rolls. It just works. But in this case, it's sort of outside of your bailiwick. Let's have you roll. Are you proficient in nature?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's roll nature. Add your wisdom score to it.
Okay.
because that's a thing druids get to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gralen is helping. Gralen, what does your help look like?
What are you doing? If I could figure out how.
So I think you see Jaden kind of like crouch down and like, I think like as he's thinking, because I'm using Druidcraft, he does that bloom thing and kind of like makes like a regular mushroom appear in his hand, like a similar cauliflower shaped one, and it's you can see he's like trying to connect some dots of like, how can I make this do this?
Then I want to flavor it as like the mushroom you create. I am intimately familiar with, and so it's like, oh yeah, don't forget this. Like, what about that? And like, we're just kind of nerding out.
Oh yeah, if you add this mineral to the,
It's
to
like
the
what-
soil, like
it's
it
like,
really
oh.
grows faster.
Yeah, and specifically in our little grove in the forest, we would, if you put like nitrogen rich soil, it would help. And this is like we're like nerding out.
Yes. Plant nerd moment.
Nerds.
Okay. So that gives me a plus something.
There is a mushroom called the false moral that basically looks just like a brain.
Oh,
Although
nice.
a moral looks very
Yeah,
like
it
more
does.
tubular,
Exactly,
but
yeah.
has that same kind of situation going.
Yeah, that texture.
Just so that
It's kind of
just to-
spongy.
throw it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got very much the look. That's the thing. It's like the false moral has two globes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is just
That
a
one.
tiny. It's just a tiny mushroom brain.
So how much bonus do I get from
Well,
you?
you get advantage.
Oh,
on
Oh,
that.
I get advantage. Oh, okay. I don't think I need it, but I will roll one.
I mean, you
more.
might get a crit.
All right.
That's true. 17 is not a crit, right?
No.
18,
No,
19, 20.
18, 19, 20.
Same, 17.
Okay.
So I get a 28.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
And you want to encourage the growth.
Yeah, I want to encourage the growth of the seedling that he's shown us, so I can be like, hey, if you do this, it'll help your stuff be more sustainable, so you don't need to eat the people we're protecting.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so yes, you sprout this. We also have to get going soon, but we'll pick up here back in the cave. Don't worry, everybody. The gross isn't over.
Oh yay!
Yay.
I still haven't gotten my drugs yet.
Just a couple things. Oh, well, we're going to talk about that layering over your experience because you have gotten your drugs even through the masks.
Yes, but like, if we're not gonna have a party here,
Okay, so the you cause this mushroom to grow, right? And it does like right away. It grows in size and increases mass, does the things that mushrooms are supposed to do, and everyone's like, oh, what all the illithids gathered around and they're actually like illithids. I think have to speak in your mind.
Yeah.
They're only telepathic.
Oh right.
Brad, I guess Brad is in this form also speaking in your mind, even though he makes his mouth move.
because so all those times we were hearing them before was actually in our brains.
No.
Or
When
in
they're
our minds?
polymorphed into physical forms, they make their
Just in this form, they have to talk
their
in your
mouth
head.
flaps go.
Yeah.
This starts to grow, and right away you know, like, okay, you were able to do this because you're exceptional, right, Jaden?
He's aware.
Right. But like a spore druid, your colleagues, right,
Yeah.
would actually be incredibly helpful for this. And you also have the insight of if they were to add a type of fertilizer to this, it would perhaps add flavor if they had access to other brains and made it part of the growth.
Mycelium.
Yeah. Like
No.
they add it to the brine that it's growing, the soil, basically, right?
Okay.
It could absorb some of that, the memory as flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that would involve collecting brains. So I don't know if you want to mention that to them.
I think he's just gonna hold on to that knowledge for a second.
Yep.
But he will share, like, any tips that, like, the spore druid thing, like, they could help you, and, like, if you add this nitrogen to the soil, it'll help accelerate the growth and stuff. So, like, this could work.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's pause there and game down. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Live or later are your only two options to watch the show, so thank you for whichever one you chose. If you did watch it before and you didn't call me to tell me how it was going to go, I'm upset with you.
Rude.
So really, it must be your only two options. Thank you to our chat mods, James V in particular, also jumping in with the Illithid lore, which I appreciate. And James V always does it in a way that's like, hey, I know this isn't necessarily what you're doing with it, but like, here's what some of the stuff says. Like, not like you're doing it wrong. And I really appreciate that because that's a thing that our people collectively, nerds, are sometimes not good about. We're doing better, right? We're growing up. We're doing all right. Thank you to our Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. You can go to happyjacks.org/Patreon to pitch in a little bit with all the expenses that Kimi puts into running this thing. We're a nonprofit, I mean, not a official nonprofit organization, but we don't make money on this, right? None of us are getting paid. We're doing this for the love of the game. And Kimi is paying out of pocket for an extensive internet bill and lighting and
For all of
this.
this.
Yeah, this is a lot. And we actually have a really cool space to work in here. So if you can pitch in $1 a month, anything like is helpful. So thank you to everyone who's already doing that. Let's start over here this time.
Hello, I am Pooja. You can find me on the internet as Forgotten Saves if you want to hear me play other TTRPGs with characters very much not in tune with their feelings. You can find me on the Happy Jacks back catalog or on Mekong and on Queen's Court Games or on the 12-Sided Stories back catalog. I'm just going to shout out again that find out your local mutual aid. You can search mutual aid and insert your city. And find an organization. There are so many, and I know that funds are tight for everybody across the board. A little bit of your time, once a month, little things.
Yep.
Do something.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be all the things, but something.
Because the U.S. government is systematically dropping the ball on everything. Okay, sorry.
Or picking up the ball and taking it in the wrong direction intentionally.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Fair point.
Tangent done.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam. I have been Jaden Sapphire, your friendly neighborhood mushroom connoisseur for this episode. You can find me on the internets, not at Red Pandroid anymore, because I absconded from the meta apps because they stole my book like a bunch of jerks. If you like books, speaking of them, and you like monsters and possibly romancing them, and you're over the age of 18 and want to read spicy books, you might want to check out my pen name, Sylvie Hellstaff. I have 2 books out right now. Shadow's Light is the first one, and Shadow and Flame. These are both kind of modern time set monster romance. We got a hot shadow demon, there's magic, there's witches. It's a good time.
And there's art made by people.
And there's art made by people. This people.
Yeah. All the right and writing.
And
all art and writing.
All art and writing. Yeah. You can follow my writing journey on Blue Sky and TikTok at Sylvie Hellstaff. And yeah, you can find my books on itch.io, which is a new place that people are putting books apparently. And you can find them on Amazon, but you can find them on all of the ebook stores that you can get ebooks at, or you can get these lovely paperbacks with art made by me.
Yeah. And it's just awesome to buy books at because you'll own them. Unlike the Evil River,
Right.
where you are renting /
That is one thing I really like about itch.io is you can put up a PDF, you can put up an ebook file, and then that way you have the books to keep. You're not dependent on your e-reader or whatever service that is. So it's a really cool place, and a lot of indie authors are moving to that platform. So
yeah, I think the split is better there too, right?
You can also do like a pay what you want, or you
nice.
can add a tip on top of the book price if you want to, if you really like the author's work. So it's a really cool place to find indie books.
Okay, awesome.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jay, and you can find me at JAfrica on the various socials out there. Let's see. You can find me here 10:30 Saturdays Pacific time with the Astral Circus. Obviously, that's the big thing that I'm streaming right now. But you can also find me later today at WonderCon, where I'll be walking the floor for a couple of hours and then helping run the D&D Epic. We have, I think, like 10 tables, and we are taking signups for players right now. A D&D Epic is a multi-table event, and so like you have 10 tables that are cooperating with one another to accomplish goals within the same adventure. Successes contribute to various other successes around the table. Failures will impact other tables as well, and so it's a fun deal. It's a fun experience that you can get at various cons here in the Southern California area, and nationally as well. But yeah, find me at WonderCon there. You'll find me all day tomorrow as well. I'll be walking the floor kind of like the first couple of hours, just checking out the vendors, and then I'll be running D&D games for the rest of the afternoon as well. If you find me, you may walk away with a point of inspiration. I have these little inspiration bands that I'll be giving out to folks that I meet out there. Besides WonderCon, you'll also find me at Alamo Draft House on April 6th, I believe, first Sunday of the month, running the advanced D&D table there. That's sort of the tier 2 table, whereas the other tables over at Alamo are going to be tier 1. And in the middle of April, you will find me on the D20 cruise out at sea. And so if you happen to be one of the folks sailing there, there's it's possible, I guess, that you got tickets. I will see you there, and if not, hopefully we'll see you at 2026. The sailing tickets are already booking, and so if you're interested, look up D20 Cruise and check it out. You may be interested in playing D&D out in the open seas.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. I am Dion, and you can find me not really that much on the internet, but where you can at Delta Echo 7792. And I am not doing cool things in the world right now, so I would just, kind of use my time
Lies. You exist.
I
Which is a very cool
exist, and that's about where it stops. And I think that's enough, but it's okay.
You are enough.
I am going to take this time to reiterate that do what you can to help in the world right now, whatever capacity. Check out the books, they're really cool. And if you have the time to go play games in real life with real people in places with humans, go human. Go.
Mm-hmm.
I have small children at home, so I don't really get a chance to human. I just have to dad. But if you have the chance to human, go human.
Yeah.
Go do it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Enjoy the life while you have it.
Dadding is a kind of human.
It's
very
like a zombie humaning.
It'll be It's an
Humaning,
investment in future humaning.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm going to say, don't do charity work. Take everything you can and keep it for yourself, and don't share anything with anyone.
Wow. You're just bringing the whole
Boo!
cis white dude.
Yeah. I mean, we needed the
Boo.
cis white dude energy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody needs that.
necessary.
Need.
No. Okay, sorry. My name's Jason. You can follow me online on Blue Sky and Twitch at It's Probably Okay. I typically stream a little bit on my channel. I've been streaming Fridays, at least with some of our mutual friend Sam DeLev to design the game that we're working on together. But I have been streaming less on my own because I finally ran into grad school classes that are hard. And I've got about 3 more weeks on that. I am gradually moving, like I was missing deadlines and then just barely hitting deadline, turning in at 8:59, and now I've moved up to like turn it in an hour early. And if I could keep marching that backwards, then in 3 weeks from now,
You'll be a good amount ahead of the curve.
Yeah. But if I can get back on top of that, I'll be also streaming some video game stuff. In particular, the driving survival game. Just flew out of my head. You get a station wagon. It's like a sci-fi driving game, and you have to like build up your station wagon so you can survive. It's called Pacific Drive.
Nice.
Really, really fun game. They're coming out with a big update in April. Baldur's Gate patch 8 is coming out soon, which is something I want to stream a bunch. I want to stream some of the Cyberpunk 2077 I've been playing. A lot of it like really pushes the envelope of the Twitch TOS, but it also had established like it is okay to have some nudity on the screen as long as you're not lingering. Anyway, whatever. I like to play games that are hard, and I die a lot. So my Cyberpunk playthroughs, I did one normal one, and now I'm playing through on maximum difficulty because I'm like this. I don't know why. Here we are. But that's the kind of content you will get from my channel. That being said, I think we're good. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Bye.